Wednesday night. Seattle police tell KIRO 7 TV's Ranji Sinha a silver sedan was involved.
The vehicle hit the man just north of here, the intersection of 73rd Street and 15th Avenue Northwest, and then took off. This happened around 10:15 p.m. Officers came out here on reports of a hit and run, found the man in the street. Seattle Fire Department personnel also came out, tried to save that 56-year-old man's life, but he died out here.
I don't know exactly the position that the pedestrian was in, but I do know they were crossing the street diagonally southbound when they were struck by that vehicle.
It was traveling southbound on 15th Avenue Northwest.
The Everett City Council has delayed a vote on whether to renew its controversial no-sit, no-lie ordinance.
The law bans sitting or lying down in parts of downtown Everett. It also restricts food distribution without a permit. The council heard public testimony Wednesday from critics and supporters.
These ordinances criminalize homelessness.
We're not trying to criminalize the homeless, but just know that not everybody who comes to our neighborhood respects our neighborhood.
Councilmember Mary Fossey moved to table the motion until more data is available on who's been cited under the ordinance. The council voted 4-3 to postpone the vote. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
Prosecutors say Major Chad Dickerson of the Pierce County Sheriff's Department was under the influence when he hit a family's SUV in Graham. Yesterday, prosecutors charged him with 2 counts of vehicular assault DUI. A child and grandmother were hurt. Prosecutors say his blood alcohol level was 0.091 hours after the crash. The legal limit is 0.08. The Tacoma City Council has voted to expand its camping ban. Camping will now be prohibited within 2 blocks of parks, playgrounds, and libraries. It builds on a 2022 law that banned camping near shelters and waterways. Meanwhile, engineers have been called in from Olympia to access the damage to an overpass in Cle Elum, damaged by an overheight truck. The truck appears to have damaged all 6 concrete girders on the Bullfrog overpass on westbound I-90. The freeway and the overpass remain closed.
We do see about 17,000 drivers going westbound. And we do see about 1,500 vehicles traveling over the overpass every day. So it is going to have an impact on drivers.
Governor Bob Ferguson says we would learn no later than Monday how long the freeway will be closed. The state plans to work with the trucking company to cover the cost of repairs. Meanwhile, hundreds of thousands of Washingtonians are at risk of losing food assistance if the government shutdown continues past October 31st. KIRO 7 TV Samantha Lomibao visited the West Seattle Food Bank.
The food bank's executive director, Fran Yates, tells me
shelf stable.
They're already struggling to keep shelves stocked.
We're getting food, but still not enough.
SNAP benefits help ease that pressure.
Oh, a great deal. Like at least three weeks worth of food, or 2.5. Yeah, so not having that is going to be it, but hopefully Jesus will always find a way.
Without SNAP, Yates says they're preparing for a lot more demand.
And the city of Seattle reaches an agreement with the SPD Police Officers Guild to build a new contract. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch has more.
Mayor Bruce Harrell says the contract ratified last weekend improves accountability with civilian investigators, streamlines the disciplinary process, and includes hiring and retention bonuses and incentives. Here's Seattle Mayor Bruce Harrell.
This new contract will build on our progress to turn around what was a staffing crisis.
The contract also elevates the CARE team, behavioral crisis responders, making it a city public safety department along with police and fire. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
And now for your KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. Marysville to Seattle about 35 right now. Linwood to Seattle 15. Everett to Seattle about 27 minutes right now. And for your KIRO News Radio forecast, we have some low clouds this morning. Most of yesterday's dense fog has cleared. Highs today will be in the low 60s. Right now, it's about 51 in downtown Seattle. Coming up, CBS military analyst Jeff McCausland breaks down the latest developments in the war between Ukraine and Russia. That's next. I'm Katrina Gashard. You're listening to KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This hour of Seattle's Morning News is brought to you by Closets by Design Seattle.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of its National Red Tag Sales event, now extended through October 26th. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales event, extended to October 26th. Discover the D.R. Horton difference at drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder and equal housing opportunity builder.
It's always such a pleasure for me to catch up with you, Shannon O'Kelly, President and CEO of IRG Physical and Hand Therapy. And as I understand it, calendar year is wrapping up. There's never a better time to take care of your aches and pains. Why?
Well, it's always a great time to come see us here at IRG Physical and Hand Therapy. We'll take care of your aches and pains. We'll get you better. But particularly, Brock, at the end of the year, most people have met their deductibles. They may have HSA, may have FSA funds. So use the opportunity to use your insurance to treat those aches and pains so you're not taking them into the new year. So you're healthy, fit, and you're excited about the new year. That's what it's all about. Here at IRG, we are so dedicated to making sure our patients really understand the insurance because it's a complex world. So when you call us, we're going to help you navigate your insurance. But I will tell everybody listening right now, if you've met your deductible, get your aches and pains treated here at IRG. We'll take care of you. We'll take care of your insurance. We'll take care of your family. We'll take care of everybody.
Clinics up and down the Puget Sound for you to go visit or see them online at irgpt.com.
Apollo Plumbing.
I got a bone to pick with you.
Say what?
You're donating service fees.
To Seattle Children's.
All month.
All the way to $20,000.
Right. That's my problem.
Huh?
Your plumbers cleared my drain last month.
Right.
And already replaced my water heater last summer.
And?
Now I have no reason to call Apollo Plumbing.
And yet you are.
I want to help you help Seattle Children's.
But
I don't need a plumber right now.
Oh, so we can't donate your service fee.
Right.
Got a fix for that.
How?
Visit our website.
Because
we have a donation link there.
Helping Seattle Children's?
Helping them provide patient care, support research, and ensure no child in need is ever turned away.
Love that.
Even if you do call Apollo for help, and we donate your services fee.
Could I donate even more?
Exactly. Benefiting Seattle Children's Hospital.
All this month.
All their service fees.
All the way to $20,000.
Maybe even more with your help.
That's so Apollo Plumbing.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
Your time is money. So why are you wasting it stuck in I-5 gridlock, TSA slowdowns, and SeaTac crowds? Isn't it time to travel smarter? Seaport Airlines offers high-frequency commuter shuttle service from Seattle's Boeing Field to Portland. Park for free next to our terminals. Check in 20 minutes before your departure. Get there faster without the hassles. Seaport Airlines. It's about time. Book today at flyseaportair.com.
Bringing you Seattle's morning news since 1974. This is KIRO Newsradio.
An overnight strike in Kyiv as Russia launches a new assault on Ukraine. A summit between Russian President Vladimir Putin and President Trump is being delayed. What does it all mean for the future of the conflict between these two nations?
Let's call up CBS military analyst Jeff McCausland. Good morning, Jeff. And there was that announcement from the White House last week that the president and Putin were going to be meeting in Budapest. What's going on here?
Well, now it seems, Charlie, that particular meeting has been postponed and perhaps postponed indefinitely. Apparently, some preliminary talks to try to begin to build a foundation for the president and Putin to meet between Secretary of State Rubio and Foreign Minister Lavrov of the Russian Federation. That fell through. And so now the president's saying it doesn't seem to him that either side is prepared to bring this war to a close or to a ceasefire. Now, prior to that announcement of a Budapest meeting, the president was talking about providing Tomahawk cruise missiles to Ukraine. Zelensky would visit the White House last Friday. But prior to that particular visit, of course, the president spoke to Putin on the phone. This meeting in Budapest came up, and the president, if you will, flip-flopped and suddenly said, well, I'm going to wait until I've talked to Putin, and I think I can get this to a closure, and we'll go to Budapest. And now, of course, all that has fallen apart.
Has the Kremlin responded to the delay?
Yeah, they've said, well, we've got to address what the Kremlin has said over and over. And I have to say they've been very consistent. And it's kind of surprised me that the administration doesn't realize that Putin doesn't want an agreement. Putin wants to win the war. And they keep talking about we've got to address the root causes of the war. And the root causes of the war for them is NATO expansion, not just Ukraine and NATO, but NATO expansion writ large. Root causes the Zelensky government. They have to go away. Root causes is the Donbass region of Ukraine they claim is Russian. And so all those things are rectified, to include, by the way, even changing the official language of Ukraine to Russian. When all those things are concluded, Mr. Putin has said he's willing to negotiate. Well, that's basically saying, when you surrender, I'll negotiate with you.
The president has had multiple different opinions on how we should resolve the war in Ukraine. One day he'll say that the Ukrainian boundaries from the early 2010s, Ukraine should be able to have that. The next day he's saying let the Russians have Donbass and have the current boundaries recognized. Is this something to be expected, Jeff, that we're going to get different ideas every day?
No, not at all. At least in my life of working in diplomacy in the Pentagon and working in diplomacy in the White House, you might change particular strategies, but you would do that privately. You wouldn't do that publicly. And I think Mr. Putin basically believes that if he can speak to Trump and he can flatter with Mr. Trump, frankly, and talk about the great opportunities if the United States and Russia have improved relations in terms of economics and rare earth minerals and oil and all kinds of things, that Mr. Trump will basically concede and give in, and Mr. Trump has consistently done that. Don't forget, Trump went to Alaska and said that if the Russians did not agree to a ceasefire, there would be severe consequences. Well, he went to Alaska, he met Putin, there was no ceasefire, and we still haven't had any severe consequences. In the United States Senate, at this moment, there's a bipartisan bill signed by 85 senators. Goodness, Charlie, we couldn't get any 85 senators to agree on what time it is. But they all have endorsed a bill to apply much significantly greater sanctions on the Russians. But right now, the majority leader, Mr. Toon, will not bring that to the floor for a vote until the president tells him to do so.
The way this war is fought, for a casual listener, Jeff, can you really explain that with the drone warfare now, this is revolutionizing how war fighting will be fought. We are not going to have a war, say, like the war on terror like we did 20 years ago against Iraq. Things are going to change significantly based on what's happening here in Ukraine.
Yeah, when I commanded a battalion in the Gulf War, it was war of maneuver, large maneuvering of armored forces supported by artillery, close air support. Same for the invasion of Iraq back in 2003. Insurgency, counterterrorism, a whole different type of warfare. That's really, in a way, how this war began in 2022 by Russia invading with large-scale formations. But very quickly that changed because of intense artillery fire, and that became the weapon of choice about 2023. And then you're right, Charlie, in the last couple of years, this now has transitioned into a very static battlefield based on the drone, because the drone makes the battlefield entirely transparent. If you move, you can be seen. If you can be seen, you can be hit, and you die. It's just that simple. So trying to mass a formation like we did when I commanded and maneuver that large force is an open invitation to get crushed by literally hundreds of drones. Look at it this way. In July of 2024, Russia fired a total of about 600 drones in the month of July. In 2025, they fired 6,000 drones at Ukraine in one single month.
Jeff, thank you so much for sharing your expertise. As always, CBS military analyst Jeff McCausland.
For your KIRO News Radio forecast, mostly cloudy skies with rain tonight. Highs this afternoon will be in the low 60s. Right now, it's about 51 in downtown Seattle. Coming up, CBS tech contributor Ian Scher explains the impact of this week's Amazon Web Service outage. I'm Katrina Gashard. You're listening to KIRO News Radio.
Dr. Mark Wagner has performed over 20,000 stem cell procedures, including mine, at Seattle Sports Regenerative Medicine. And we've interviewed over 100 of Dr. Wagner's patients, and we hear the same things. It changed changed my life. I'm back to doing the activities I love without pain. It really works. It's remarkable.
We love helping people get back to living life to the fullest and doing the things they enjoy most.
They also must really enjoy not having the pain and recovery time with surgery.
Stem cell therapy is a 60-minute, non-surgical, minimally invasive procedure to eliminate pain, regenerate cartilage, treat tendon and ligament tears, osteoarthritis, and chronic tendinitis.
And you only use the patient's own stem cells.
That's right, their body's own stem cells.
So whether it's a hip like me, an elbow, shoulder, or knee.
Don't forget ankles, wrists, and thumbs.
Yep, those patients too. Before choosing surgery, see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD first. Learn more at drmarkwagnermd.com.
Doctors King and Kopstein from K2 Vision.
If you're over 50 and you've been diagnosed with a cataract, or your vision is changing as you're developing an early cataract, you could be a perfect candidate for K2 Vision RLE.
It's inevitable. At some point, typically in your 60s or 70s, you'll have a dysfunctional lens that eventually becomes a cataract. To restore your vision, you will someday need a procedure such as refractive lens exchange.
The question is, are you done with glasses? Do you want to spend your good, active years hassling with changing prescriptions and needing readers?
K2 Vision RLE can give you great vision now, permanently, and you'll never develop that cataract. The procedure is quick and painless, and our state-of-the-art custom lens technologies give highly predictable outcomes.
K2 Vision surgeons have performed nearly 100,000 procedures. We know when RLE is right for you.
Find out. Schedule a free Zoom consultation at k2visionrle.com.
K2 Vision RLE. No glasses, no contacts, no readers.
With football season comes cooler weather, so if you need new windows and doors, don't drop the ball. Steve Rabel here. Call on locally owned Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington to tackle your project. Their wide selection of windows and doors always beats the competition, and they'll give you top-notch customer service with no trick plays. Schedule a free consultation with Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Go to PellaPNW.com. That's PellaPNW.com.
There is one real estate agent who's been helping KIRO listeners longer than anyone else, and that's Wes Jones with sellwithwes.com. Wes, you've helped KIRO listeners in good markets and more difficult ones. What do you think has been the secret to your success?
Experience has taught us that to outperform the market, we needed to do things differently from the status quo, that we needed to do more. Our exclusive system covers innovative marketing locally and internationally, leading to more eyeballs on your home, better listing prep for better showings, negotiation strategies that eliminate pesky buyer contingencies, and generate stronger offers. Through our exclusive client programs, our sellers enjoy an extraordinary marketing experience utilizing techniques a traditional agent cannot offer.
So if you want to sell your home faster, at a higher price, and with fewer contingencies, if you want more, visit sellwithwes.com. Sellwithwes.com, a better way to sell your home.
She and Ursula, weekdays from 9 to noon on KIRO News Radio.
Carter Subaru, Seattle's only Subaru dealership, has the largest selection of Subarus in our state. For a limited time, you can get the 2025 Subaru Outback for 0.9% financing for 60 months. With over 100 Outbacks to choose from, you're going to find the exact color and trim you've been looking for. Visit Carter Subaru in Shoreline and Ballard or anytime at cartersubaru.com.
On approved credit, subject to vehicle insurance and availability. A documentary service fee may be added to the sale price or capitalized cost. See dealer for details. Valid through 10/31/25.
I'm John Ramsar with Baird Private Wealth Management in Seattle, here with my friend Cole Hardman, former patient and now Director of Development at Seattle Children's Hospital.
Thanks for inviting me, John, and thanks to Baird for the longtime support of Seattle Children's.
Of course, Seattle Children's Research and Care helps so many children and families through incredible challenges, but you know that better than anyone.
I sure do, John. At 4 hours old, having surgery to save my life, and spent the first year there with in-and-out appointments for 18 years. I'm so fortunate to get the world-class treatment and care at Seattle Children to allow me to live a full, healthy life. But it was the doctors, nurses, and great care that inspired me to want to give back. I now have the honor to work with wonderful community members and supporters like Baird, who are so generous to help next generations of kids at Seattle Children's Hospital.
Thanks for sharing your story, Cole. And for all of you listening, I invite you to discover the difference we can make together at rwbaird.com/Seattle.
Save up to 20% during the Bob's Heating preseason furnace sale. With great deals on heating and cooling, backup generators, ductless heat pumps, and more, now is the best time to buy. Plus, with 12-month interest-free financing, investing in your home comfort has never been easier or more affordable. Trust the team at Bob's Heating to keep your home warm and cozy during the chilly season. Your family's comfort is our family business.
Bob's Heating and Air Conditioning. Call Bob.
Upgrade your home comfort and save 20% during the Bob's Heating preseason furnace sale. With great savings plus free financing on heat pumps, water heaters, generators, and more, our award-winning team has what you need to stay cozy this chilly season at a cost you're comfortable with. Voted best in the Pacific Northwest, we're honored to be your dedicated home comfort company since 1957. Call Bob's and save today.
Bob's Heating and Air Conditioning. Call Bob.
Brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Not only does Progressive let you bundle your insurance, they also give you round-the-clock protection. Get a quote today at Progressive.com.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed the musty smell in your home? I hope not, because damp smells mean that you could have a crawl space problem. That's where Groundworks comes in. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to waterproof your crawl space and get to the root cause of the problem. Schedule your free inspection at groundworks.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning. I'm Katrina Gashard. The entire east wing of the White House will be demolished within days. The costs are expected to rise to $300 million. CBS's Weijia Jiang is following the story.
The demolition has taken many by surprise after Trump said this in July.
It won't interfere with the current building. It'll be near it, but not touching it, and pays total respect to the existing building, which I'm the biggest fan of. It's my favorite.
The First Lady's office has already been demolished. A family theater and a gift shop will also be flattened. In a new letter to the Trump administration, the National Trust for Historic Preservation wrote that the addition will overwhelm the White House itself and urged officials to pause the demolition until the plans have been reviewed by the National Capital Planning Commission.
Here in Washington, Seattle police are investigating a deadly hit and run in Ballard late last night. A 56-year-old man crossed the street near 15th Avenue Northwest and Northwest 70th Street when he was struck by a vehicle. Detective Eric Munoz tells KIRO 7 TV.
I don't know exactly the position that the pedestrian was in, but I do know they were crossing the street diagonally southbound when they were struck by that vehicle.
The man died at the scene. Police are looking for a silver sedan with front-end damage. Seattle Mayor Bruce Harrell and SPD Chief Sean Barnes announced a collective bargaining agreement which has been reached with the Seattle Police Officers Guild. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch has details.
The agreement, Mayor Harrell says, was ratified by SPD rank-and-file officers last weekend. It takes the Community Assisted Response and Engagement Department, or CARE team, from a pilot program to a permanent part of public safety in Seattle. Seattle Mayor Bruce Harrell.
A permanent co-equal third pillar of our public safety system. Joining, of course, our police and fire as essential first responders.
CARE responds to calls for service for those experiencing a behavioral health crisis. We have calls in to the Police Officers Guild, but so far have not heard back. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Publicola reports new Seattle police recruits will start at $118,000, rising to $132,000 after 18 months. That's a 42% increase over 5 years, not including bonuses of up to $50,000 for lateral hires from other departments. Mpox cases are climbing in King County. 45 new infections were reported in September, the highest monthly total since 2022. Public health officials urge those at risk to get vaccinated with the 2-dose Mpox series. The virus spreads through close physical contact, often during intimate encounters. Free vaccines are available at Harborview Sexual Health Clinic. And the Everett City Council approved the new stay out of drug zone areas, or SOTA zones, near downtown. And this man says drug use is a concern.
I do remember one time being in my apartment and then hearing someone being like, whoa, for 40, 50 minutes. Wow. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure that guy was on drugs.
People convicted or accused of drug crimes will now be banned from entering those areas as part of the city's effort to curb drug-related activity. And a 1-pound kitten is safe after troopers found her on I-55 near Tacoma. It happened late yesterday morning. She was stuck under a concrete barrier.
Oh, you got her. Nice job, Lauren.
Oh, that's such a cutie.
Troopers took her to the vet. They named her Trooper. No one knows how she got there. Now to your KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. Tacoma to Seattle, about 27 right now. Puyallup to Renton, 21 minutes. Everett to Bellevue, about 20 minutes right now. Marysville to Seattle, about 33. And for your forecast, mostly cloudy skies with some rain expected tonight. Highs this afternoon will be in the low 60s. Right now, it's about 51 in downtown Seattle. I'm Katrina Gashard. You're listening to KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO Newsradio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Seattle's morning news on KIRO News Radio.
Good morning. An outage that shook the internet Monday. It was a massive outage of the Amazon Web Service, wreaked havoc on all sorts of servers.
Joining us now with the full impact is CBS tech contributor Ian Scher. Ian, tell us the big picture here. How did this happen, and why did it happen?
Well, the way it happened and the why are very connected. So, fortunately, it doesn't appear to have been a hack. So that's the good news. But the reason that it happened was that there is a technology called DNS. And what it is essentially is imagine it as a phone book for the internet, right? When you type in google.com or KIRO.com, what you end up with is that your computer actually goes to a unique ID number where that computer is. So imagine it like a GPS coordinate, right? You don't know where your home is on GPS, but you know the address. It's very similar here. The problem was that Amazon's broke overnight on Sunday night or Monday morning, really. And everything started to fail. Now, part of the reason for that is that a lot of the internet runs on Amazon's stuff, right? You may think of Amazon as the company that deliver, you in the retailer, but they also have massive computer systems to run all those apps and everything. And they realized quite a while ago that, hey, we don't need it all the time. We don't need to use it every day. Sometimes we need it when there's big shopping and other times not. So why don't we rent out extra space to other companies and do it on the cheap because we already paid for it anyway, and that'll help us to make more money. Well, it's turned into a massive business, and Amazon, Google, and Microsoft are the three biggest ones on the internet. So when Amazon had that phone book error, essentially, suddenly about a third of the internet wasn't able to talk to all their stuff. And that means people like Disney Plus and Venmo and Netflix and all these other companies that rely on Amazon in one way or another to operate.
What does this say about just how much power one company can have over the entire internet?
I mean, that has been an ongoing conversation. Originally, if we think back to the Cold War, the reason that the internet was invented was so that we would have decentralized information, right? The idea was that it wasn't in one place. If there was an attack, we could get the information from somewhere else. Well, the thing is that natural market forces and capitalism have led us to this point where we have these massive, ultra-large companies that are running everything. And the tough part is that there are people who say, hey, this isn't a good idea. We should change that. But because of what's called economies of scale, right? The idea that the more Amazon builds, the cheaper it is for them to build this stuff, has it at a point where it's much cheaper for them to run these computers than it does for you and me. And any competitor who wants to be able to go up against them has to go to all their customers and say, hey, we can beat them on price. And of course, most people can't. That's why only Google and Microsoft are really the only other players in town.
And Ian, 30 seconds left. I worked for Microsoft maybe 30 years ago, helping set up NT servers for different applications. And we had to be hyper aware of DNS back then. This is an underpinning of everything. Why hasn't the technology changed since then to make this more bulletproof?
Well, there are efforts to make it more bulletproof, but the reality is that even the most well-written software is still written by human beings. And you and I are not perfect, and so neither is the software we make. And the truth is you can have as many backup systems as possible, but at the end of the day, there is still going to be failures. That's why there's a word in the tech industry called 5-9. That's that they can only ever guarantee 99.99999% uptime. There's going to be about an hour every year that things aren't working. And that all piled up into Monday.
Ian, thank you so much for your time this morning. CBS Tech contributor Ian Scher.
Coming up, we'll have national headlines. I'm Katrina Gashard. You're listening to KIRO News Radio.
Celebrating 50 years of Seahawks football.
Touchdown Seahawks! Steve Rabel made the catch.
Number 96, Cortez Kennedy. He was as wide as he was tall, and he was in the backfield, terrorizing quarterbacks and throwing them to the ground, and wrapping up running backs and throwing them to the ground before they knew what hit them.
Since the beginning, KIRO is where Seattle and the Pacific Northwest have heard the Seahawks play. Here's to the next 50 years.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com. This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Health insurance is broken, but it doesn't have to be. That's why Scan Health Plan was founded as a nonprofit, so we can create Medicare Advantage plans that focus on the real needs of seniors. We've been people first since 1977, and we're here to make Medicare work hard for you, because you deserve more than a broken system. You deserve a plan that fights for you. Visit scandifference.org to learn more. Scan Health Plan is an HMO plan with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in Scan Health Plan depends on contract renewal.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of its National Red Tag Sales event, now extended through October 26th. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales event, extended to October 26th. Discover the D.R. Horton difference at drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder and equal housing opportunity builder.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids. 1-877 Cards for Kids. Donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877 for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877 for Kids. That's Cars with a K to donate your car today.
1-877 for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's carsforkids.org.
CBS News Brief. Outrage is growing over President Trump's admission the entire east wing of the White House will be destroyed to make room for a massive new ballroom. Brian Green served on the commission that approved plans for federal buildings.
This is part of our heritage. This is part of our story as Americans. And we deserve to have that conversation about its fate and what happens to it.
Trump administration's attacks on alleged South American drug boats spreading out. CBS's Charlie D'Agata.
These are the first 2 strikes announced in the Pacific, totaling 9 known strikes in less than 2 months. One boat was taken out in the eastern Pacific Ocean, the other off the coast of Colombia.
The U.S. has imposed new restrictions targeting Russia's 2 largest oil companies. Correspondent Nancy Cordes.
As for these new U.S. sanctions on Russia, Moscow responded overnight, calling them extremely counterproductive to finding peace in Ukraine.
CBS News Brief. I'm Deborah Rodriguez.
For your KIRO News Radio forecast, mostly cloudy skies with rain tonight. Highs this afternoon will be in the low 60s. Right now, it's about 51 in downtown Seattle. Coming up, an appeals court has greenlit the Trump administration to send National Guard troops to Portland. So what will happen next? We hear from former State Attorney General Rob McKenna. I'm Katrina Gashard. You're listening to KIRO News Radio.
The stock market's on fire. AI stocks are performing at all-time levels. We hope you, like many of our investors, have taken advantage of it. A famous man once said, buy low, sell high. There's also $8 trillion of cash sitting on the sidelines. Investors are either scared or they don't know where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rireka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares profit with our investors. We've been doing it for 19 years, averaging double-digit returns with 0 investor losses. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital and invest in our family of funds. From a 3-year investment with double-digit returns to only a 90-day commitment returning 7%. We also accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at LegacyG.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at LegacyG.com.
Well, I'm here with my good buddy, Dr. Dan Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. And you've heard from Dr. Dan's patients over the years how a simple stem cell procedure has successfully conquered their pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well. And your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit DanielNelsonMD.com. That's DanielNelsonMD.com.
For more than 50 years, the voice Seattle trusts. This is Seattle's Morning News on KIRO Newsradio.
Well, this week, a U.S. appeals court ruled that President Trump can deploy National Guard troops to Portland, despite objections from local leaders.
Prosecutors through the Justice Department have argued that troops are needed in Portland to calm continued protests outside in an immigration and customs enforcement facility, which at times have led to violent clashes between federal agents and protesters.
Joining us now to break this down and what it could mean for the city and how the legal battle could unfold is former State Attorney General Rob McKenna. Nice to have you again, Rob, this morning. Can you explain how we got here in the first place?
Well, as you said, the Justice Department has been arguing that troops are needed in Portland because of the continued protest outside the ICE facility about 2 miles south of downtown. And those at times have involved some violent clashes between federal agents and protesters. So that's the predicate. Send troops in, protect a federal facility, similar to the rationale for sending federalized National Guard troops into parts of Los Angeles earlier this year.
So we have two situations here, right? Oregon National Guard troops, but also the president had at one time called up California National Guard troops. Are these both part of the same lawsuit, or are these separate issues?
Great question. They're related because the district court judge in Oregon ruled against the Trump administration and blocked them from sending in troops mobilized in Oregon and also troops from other states. Trump had planned to send forces from California and Texas. So this judge issued 2 temporary restraining orders, one blocking mobilization of the Oregon National Guard and another broader order which blocked him from sending in any troops from any other state to Oregon.
What do we know about when troops could actually be deployed?
Well, now it's a little unclear because the Ninth Circuit, well, first let me back up. The Justice Department appealed the first order, which blocked the president from mobilizing the Oregon National Guard. And on Monday, the Ninth Circuit ruled in the administration's favor and said no, that Trump can mobilize the Oregon National Guard. And the Justice Department, for some reason, had not appealed the second order about sending in troops from other states. So that may be stayed, although the two judges on this three-judge Ninth Circuit panel said, well, that the reasoning under the law is the same. And then what their reasoning was that there's a federal statute which authorizes the federalization of the National Guard when the president is, quote, unable with the regular forces to execute the laws of the United States. So on the other hand, the state of Oregon says, no, not so fast. Only the first order was stayed, not the second one. All of this is just temporary, of course, right? Because the question is really going to be resolved on appeal, and the issue is whether or not, pending the appeal, the administration can federalize Oregon National Guard troops or any troops to go in and be deployed around that ICE facility.
I don't have a fancy law degree or anything like that, Rob, but I got to imagine this winds up in front of the Supreme Court.
I mean, there's a good chance of that. You know, we've had a series of cases or disputes now about the president's authority to federalize the National Guard. There's also the related question of when any president can send in the regular military, regular troops who are not National Guard. And these are not new questions. We've talked before about the ICE protests in L.A., where Marines and National Guard were sent in. We've talked about the Rodney King riots in Los Angeles in '92. 63 people died. The National Guard was federalized. U.S. Marines were sent in. Federal law enforcement was sent in. What we haven't talked about is another interesting precedent that I hadn't really looked into until recently, which is that President Eisenhower and President Kennedy federalized National Guard troops and sent in U.S. Army troops to Arkansas, to Mississippi, to Alabama to enforce public school and university desegregation. And that was not because there was an insurrection. It was because residents of those states were trying to block black students from entering those schools. And the presidents were able to mobilize the National Guard and send in U.S. troops to basically protect the students and get them into those schools.
Rob, you are a recovering politician, so I'd like maybe a little political analysis here. Would it make sense? Could the president simply go, look, the threat of sending these troops to Portland, now there's only half a block, people are filling a driveway in the ICE facility. See, my threats worked, and I don't need to put the troops on the ground. You're welcome, America.
Yeah, it's a clash of wills. I think, it's or almost like a chess game where the protesters, step up their protests, that they might become violent. That provokes a federal reaction by ICE officials on the ground and law enforcement, and they keep doing it. So the president says, well, I'm not going to tolerate these attacks on federal facilities. I'm going to send in these troops to protect them. So, that makes him look strong. And then there's this broader theme that we've heard a lot from President Trump, that these cities like Portland, Chicago, Los Angeles are crime-ridden, Washington, D.C., crime-ridden, and we're going to send in federal troops to fight crime. That's a lot more problematic because crime fighting is the province of state and local governments, not the federal government. But when you have enough civil unrest, federal troops can be used, National Guard can be mobilized. The question is where you divide that line. And I think most people believe that regular law and order functions don't trigger that, but riots would. The question is, how big does the riot need to be?
Former state AG Rob McKenna. Rob, thank you, and we won't make you run for office again, okay?
Bless you. I'm going back to my 12-step group now.
Take care. Thanks for your time, as always.
For your KIRO News Radio forecast, mostly cloudy skies with rain tonight. Highs this afternoon will be in the low 60s. Right now, we're about 51 in downtown Seattle. Coming up, more of the day's top stories here on Seattle's Morning News. I'm Katrina Gashard. You're listening to KIRO News Radio.
I can't wait till I get a little older.
The John Curley Show.
I get a little bit more hair in my ears.
Weekdays 3 to 7.
And I can be the really crotchety old guy that can say to people in restaurants,
"Why don't you get your kid off the phone?"
You could do that now.
No, I'm not there yet. Getting close to being eccentric. As my mom used to say, I don't make enough money to be eccentric. I'm just middle-class crazy right now.
Watch the John Curley Show live on YouTube. Weekdays 3 to 7. And download the KIRO Newsradio app.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Severe from Vicks.
Sinex Severe nasal spray.
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Severe instantly relieves nasal congestion and works 6 times faster than nasal decongestant tablets. The 12 hours of relief allow you to get back to the moments that matter without congestion.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Try Sinex Severe from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
There's nothing like when you get that part from eBay and it just fits. Yeah, the first time. So you can do less of this and get right back to more of this. At eBay, you'll find all the parts you need, guaranteed to fit, at prices you'll love. Sounds good, doesn't it? eBay, things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
He was the heart of your family, and he taught you our history. He helped you fix your first flat. He was the best backyard DJ around, and every time he'd tell a story, he'd own the room. But now more than ever, he may feel alone. Today, older adults and their loved ones are struggling to connect, in a time when connection has never been more important. But there is something we can do. Embrace our older loved ones through StoryCorps Connect. With StoryCorps Connect, you can honor seniors remotely with an interview about their life. Every interview will be archived at the Library of Congress, becoming part of American history, so that years from now, future generations can listen in.
All right, Grandpa, what's one piece of advice you have for me?
Just 3 words, sweetheart. Live with courage. The man that had the best stories still has plenty of stories to tell. So connect virtually and share the conversation of a lifetime at storycorpsconnect.org/AARP. Connect, honor, share. StoryCorps Connect. A message from AARP, StoryCorps, and the Ad Council.
Looking for a high school that nurtures both the mind and spirit? Archbishop Murphy High School is where academic excellence meets faith-based education. With a 100% graduation rate and a college prep program designed to challenge and inspire, our students are prepared for whatever the future holds. But it's more than just academics. Archbishop Murphy's robust athletics, arts, and co-curricular activities ensure that every student finds their passion and thrives. Archbishop Murphy High School believes in educating the whole person. That's why we offer a vibrant campus life where students grow not only academically, but also spiritually, socially, and physically. Don't just take our word for it. See it for yourself. Schedule a visit and discover how Archbishop Murphy High School can help your students succeed. Visit am-hs.org. IRG Physical and Hand Therapy proudly supports Archbishop Murphy High School, where your story begins. am-hs.org.
Your local volunteer fire department routinely answers the call, whether it be a fire, traffic accident, or a cat stuck in a tree. But because of declines in memberships, departments have become understaffed. Your local volunteer fire department desperately needs you. Can you direct traffic, install a smoke alarm, help at a fundraiser? No matter what skills you have, you can make a difference. You don't have to fight fire to be a volunteer. Will you answer the call? For more information on how you can help, visit the Volunteer Firefighter Alliance at supportvfa.org.
You're miracle workers.
Don't know about that.
My drain was clogged.
Right.
You came in a jiffy.
And got right to work?
Now it's clear.
It's what we do.
Like I said, you're miracle workers.
Actually, we're plumbers.
Apollo plumbers.
You want to see some real miracle workers?
Huh?
Just take a look at Seattle Children's.
Sure.
They're all hope, care, and cure.
All true.
And together, we can help them.
How so?
Your service fee?
Yeah.
Apollo Plumbing is donating it.
To benefit Seattle Children's Hospital.
We're donating all our service fees.
All month.
To help Seattle Children's provide outstanding care and support research.
And ensure no child in need is ever turned away.
That's the goal.
Gotta love that.
Gotta love the work they do at Seattle Children's.
So, I call, you come.
Apollo donates your service fee. All our service fees.
All month?
All the way to $20,000.
That's so Apollo Plumbing.
Always ready, right now.
You really are miracle workers.
Aren't we all?
Maybe so.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
FM.
Hi, I'm Dr. Nia Hergaris with today's tip for kids from the American Academy of Pediatrics. As parents, we want our children to grow up healthy and strong. That means helping teens take responsibility for their health as they become young adults. One way to do that is to make sure they have one-on-one time with their pediatrician. That helps them become comfortable talking about any health issue with their doctors and with you. So make sure to give your teen a voice. It's good for their health. For more on teen health, visit healthychildren.org.
Hey there, Dawn Riding with Olympic Hot Tub. You know what's better than soaking every night in a saltwater hot spring spa? Knowing you got it for an incredible price during our great rebate event. Save up to $4,500 on the best hot tub you can own. Saltwater soaking, incredible savings, sleeping better, feeling better. What are you waiting for? Our great rebate event ends October 27th. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Olympic Hot Tub. Open enrollment for Medicare is underway. Are you ready? Herb Weisbaum, the Consumer Man here. Get organized now with the Medicare Jumpstart Toolkit from the Insurance Commissioner's SHIBA program. Order your free copy today at insurance.wa.gov.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Eggland's Best.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. We begin in Washington and the growing outcry over the president's new plan to completely destroy a massive section of the White House to make room for a 90,000 square foot ballroom.
President Trump confirms the east wing of the White House is being torn down.
In order to do it properly, we had to take down the existing structure.
The president also threw out a new number on the cost.
It's about $300 million.
The original number was around $230 million, but Trump says the American people aren't paying for any of it.
It's being paid for 100% by me and some friends of mine, donors.
Rejecting allegations that he has been anything but transparent about the size and scope of the project, including the details about the demolition. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
Breaking news now. A law enforcement source tells CBS News arrests are taking place across the country as we speak in connection with a federal grand jury investigation into illegal sports betting. Among the suspects in custody, Portland Trailblazers head coach Chauncey Billups and Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier. We're expecting more details from FBI Director Kash Patel next hour. The Trump administration says U.S. strikes have blown up 2 more drug boats. Unlike previous hits, these were not in the Caribbean. Correspondent Charlie D'Agata.
These are the first 2 strikes announced in the Pacific, totaling 9 known strikes in less than 2 months. 1 boat was taken out in the eastern Pacific Ocean, the other off the coast of Colombia.
President Trump claims cartels are responding by slowing down their water operations. A groundbreaking moment at the Vatican. King Charles and Pope Leo prayed together in the Sistine Chapel today, something his mother, the late Queen Elizabeth, wanted to do decades ago. The BBC's Mark Lowen.
Back then, her desire to pray together with the then Pope John Paul II, well, those plans were dropped over concerns that would upset factions within the Church of England.
The last time it happened, before King Henry VIII broke with the Catholic Church so he could divorce and remarry. A jersey worn by a baseball great has sold for millions.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
Lou Gehrig's number 4 brought in $2.7 million at auction at Christie's. CBS's Jesse Mitchell.
That's the highest amount ever paid for a piece of Gehrig memorabilia. Gehrig wore the jersey during Game 2 of the 1939 World Series, though he was on the bench due to his ALS diagnosis, the disease that would later carry his name.
This is CBS News.
Eggland's Best, the only eggs with more fresh and delicious taste, plus superior nutrition. Eggland's Best, better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
It's 6:03. Let's head over to the traffic desk with Chris Sullivan.
Yeah, it looks like we're starting off the morning with a crash near the West Seattle Bridge on northbound I-5 just after the merge because it went from all green on the map to all red on the map just in a moment. So plan on a couple of minutes worth of a delay. Hopefully I'll have more for you on the severity of this coming up in 10 minutes. But right now you can plan on about a 40-minute trip from Federal Way to Seattle. The other hot spot is getting in through the construction zone in Pacific on northbound 167. Got ourselves about a 50-minute trip from Puyallup to Renton, so behind schedule this time by about 20 minutes. Then Renton to Bellevue's not too bad. It's under 20. Olympia to Tacoma, nice and easy, 35 minutes for you guys. Coming down from the north end, no issues, 35 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue. And again, we've got another day dealing with the closure of westbound I-90 over in Cle Elum for that bridge strike. Still have no ETA on what the plan is going to be there or when they're going to get that freeway reopened. This report brought to you by Tacoma Holiday Festival, which is presented by Puyallup Chocolates. It's October 23rd through the 26th at the Tacoma Dome. Buy your tickets, holidaygiftsshows.com.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It's 6:04. Seattle police are busy on two major investigations this morning.
One is in Pioneer Square, where officers arrested a 39-year-old man after a stabbing. Another in North Seattle, where detectives are looking into a deadly crash.
And KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey joins us live with the latest.
Yeah, let's start in North Seattle. A man is dead after a hit and run there. It happened last night at 15th Avenue, a busy street, and 73rd. Police say they found the 56-year-old victim in the roadway. He was trying to cross the street there in an area not designated for pedestrian crossing. Here's SPD's Eric Munoz.
I don't know exactly the position that the pedestrian was in, but I do know they were crossing the street diagonally southbound when they were struck by that vehicle.
Yeah, police say the suspect's car could be a silver sedan, most likely has front-end damage. Police are obviously trying to find that driver. And now to Pioneer Square. This was in the middle of the afternoon yesterday on 3rd Avenue. The victim waved down police, officers say, after he'd been stabbed. Police say he told them the suspect approached him asking for drugs, and when he said he didn't have any, that's when he was stabbed. Officers later identified the suspect in the area because he walked back to the area. He could face felony assault charges.
Luke, thank you. Pierce County Sheriff's Major has been charged in connection with a crash in Graham back in July.
Prosecutors have filed 2 vehicular assault DUI counts against Chad Dickerson. They say he hit an SUV with a family of 6 inside, including 3 young children, their parents, and grandmother. The grandmother and one of the children were hurt. Prosecutors say Dickerson had a blood alcohol level of 0.091 hours after the crash. That's above the legal limit of 0.08. He's due in court November 6th. Frank Lenzi, KIRO News Radio.
And engineers have been called in from Olympia to assess the damage to the overpass in Cle Elum that was damaged by an overheight truck. The truck appears to have damaged all 6 concrete girders on the Bullfrog overpass on westbound 90. The freeway and the overpass remain closed.
We do see about 17,000 drivers going westbound. And we do see about 1,500 vehicles traveling over the overpass every day. So it is going to have an impact on drivers.
And Governor Bob Ferguson says we should learn no later than Monday how long the freeway will be closed. State plans to work with the trucking company to cover the cost of repairs.
Keeping you informed since 1974. This is the city's longest-running radio news show.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
Yeah, I know they have process. If that sucker is coming down, there is no way that overpass survives. No. Period. End of story.
So many engineers reached out to me yesterday, and they're like, once they saw the picture, they're like,
no.
Yeah.
Oh, heck no.
That's got to come down.
Yeah. So hopefully they are able to take it down quickly. Of course, we will continue to follow it, and I will issue a personal apology should I be wrong and they're miraculously able to fix it.
We'll see.
It's amazing what you can do with Gorilla Glue.
Well, good morning. I'm Charlie Harger with Manda Factor. That's Sully, who is checking roads for us on the 3s. Producer David Burbank is in the studio. Katrina Gashard is our editor, and Nick Krasha is running the board.
And this hour of Seattle's Morning News is sponsored by American Crawl Space and Pest Control.
Well, coming up on this hour of the show, KIRO News Radio exclusive is a shocking behind-the-scenes look at how a youth pastor who pleaded guilty to the sexual assault of a child has continued to be given chances by community leaders in Auburn. This includes a personal appeal for no jail time from Auburn's mayor. I've been digging into details for weeks now. You won't want to miss this at 6:15.
No, you will not. And Sully, you have a choke point coming up.
Yeah, I do. Snow coming to the passes this weekend, so I'm going to make sure that you guys are ready, and so is the state, to take care of winter weather.
6:08. Seattle Mayor Bruce Harrell and Police Chief Sean Barnes announced yesterday a collective bargaining agreement has been reached with the Seattle Police Officers Guild.
We get the details from KIRO News Radio's James Lynch.
The agreement, Mayor Harrell says, was ratified by SPD rank-and-file officers last weekend. It takes the Community Assisted Response and Engagement Department, or CARE team, from a pilot program to a permanent part of public safety in Seattle. Seattle Mayor Bruce Harrell.
A permanent co-equal third pillar of our public safety system. Joining, of course, our police and fire as essential first responders.
CARE responds to calls for service for those experiencing a behavioral health crisis. We have calls in to the Police Officers Guild, but so far have not heard back. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Publicola reports new Seattle police recruits will start at $118,000, rising to $132,000 after 18 months. That's a 42% increase over 5 years, not including bonuses up to $50,000 for lateral hires from other departments.
The Everett City Council has approved new stay-out-of-drug areas, or SODA zones, near downtown. KIRO 7 TV's Raji Sinha spoke to people who live and work in those parts of town.
I personally haven't seen that much myself.
Do I see them use drugs? No.
I don't see people doing drugs.
This section of Everett south of Pacific Avenue is not very busy early in the morning, but for years, Everett police say drug activity has gone up here and in an area spanning roughly 25 square blocks.
People convicted or accused of drug crimes will now be banned from those areas.
And debate continues over Everett's No Sit, No Lie ordinance. Yesterday, the City Council was expected to vote on whether to extend it by another 2 years. Members heard testimony from people for and against it.
This no sit, no lie law, it's a very deep personal issue to me. I was homeless for over 5 years, and I can tell you from experience that dehumanizing people does not help.
I have had to, until this no set, no lie went in, I had a person on staff that came in at 3 a.m. to wash his steps so that the employees could come in and not have to step in stuff.
In the end, the council delayed the vote until it gets more information on the people who have been cited under the ordinance.
Meantime, the Tacoma City Council has voted to expand its camping ban. The camping will be now prohibited within 2 blocks of parks, playgrounds, and libraries. It builds on a 2022 law that banned camping near shelters and waterways.
If the government shutdown continues beyond October 31st, nearly 900,000 Washingtonians may lose access to SNAP benefits. KIRO 7 TV's Samantha Lomibel has more.
Tatiana Martinez is filling her bag at the West Seattle Food Bank.
I got frozen peaches, yogurt.
Out of uncertainty of where her family's next meals will come from.
I've been stacking up my food and making use of the little EBT I have because they also said they might take that away.
Martinez is one of nearly 930,000 Washingtonians who will lose SNAP benefits on October 31st if the shutdown continues. And outside of government help, the West Seattle Food Bank tells me they're buying about 35% of that food that they distribute.
Troopers near Tacoma performed a daring rescue yesterday on I-5. A tiny kitten was hiding in a crack under a concrete barrier. Body cam video shows 2 troopers crawling to reach her. One drove her to the vet.
Good kitty. Hi.
So cute.
She's just a month old, weighs about a pound. They named her Trooper.
Appropriately. Well, do you think your pet has what it takes to lead the city of Tacoma? KIRO 7 TV's Lindsay Sheldon.
The Humane Society for Tacoma and Pierce County is holding a special election. And bottom line here, right, it's going to get your pet a lot of exposure. The winner will be honored with a proclamation at a Tacoma City Council meeting. Meet the real mayor and council and take a tour of the mayor's office. It costs $25 to enter the race. Just submit a picture of your pet and a caption for why they should be mayor.
Get it? A proclamation.
Yeah, no, I got it.
The money goes to the Pierce County Spay and Neuter program.
6:12 now. Let's check our weather forecast. It's a wet one on tap. We're looking for rain later in today on the coast, and then heavy rain tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday. Highs will be in the mid to upper 50s the next several days. Overnight lows in the mid 40s. Right now, in Seattle. We have clouds. It's 51.
And it's 6:13. That's time for traffic around here. Every 10 minutes, here's Chris Sullivan.
And we have pushed up to 50 minutes now on northbound I-5 because of this crash just past the West Seattle Bridge. It's been blocking two center lanes, right side center lanes. So plan on some delays there. It's going to be about a 10-minute delay through that area minimum. So that's our biggest problem on the board. Other than that, it's the Valley Freeway running around 50 minutes as well from Puyallup to Renton. We have heavy brake lights up through Pacific today, a little bit in Auburn. Then the Renton to Bellevue drive is running right around 20 minutes. So we're pretty decent there. Olympia to Tacoma, just some spots here and there. Overall, 35, 36 minutes to Tacoma. Lake bridges are quiet coming down out of the north end. Still a relatively quiet drive as well. We have some brake lights away from Linwood, primarily down through Canyon Park. But overall, 40 minutes from Everett to Bellevue, about 35 Everett to Seattle. This report brought to you by Kia of Everett. Kia just dropped the biggest EV sale, saves thousands on the EV6 and EV9. More at Kia of Everett. Simple, easy, fun.
6:14 now. The NFL commissioner is sticking with Bad Bunny. Here's KIRO News Radio's Katrina Gishard.
Despite bad reviews of the NFL's choice of Bad Bunny to headline the Super Bowl halftime show, Commissioner Roger Goodell says there's been no reconsideration of the choice.
I'm not sure we've ever selected an artist where we didn't have some blowback or criticism. Pretty hard to do when you have literally hundreds of millions of people that are watching.
Bad Bunny, one of the most streamed artists around the world, has been a vocal critic of President Donald Trump.
Katrina, thank you. It's 6:14.
This is the city's longest-running radio news show, Seattle's Morning News on KIRO Newsradio.
And it is time for a KIRO News Radio exclusive report. We have just posted this on mynorthwest.com. And Charlie, you've been investigating a story out of Auburn that involves the mayor, a convicted sex offender, and what appears to be a pretty troubling pattern of support from civic leaders. So what started the investigation?
Well, Matt, it started with a tip I received last month that seemed almost impossible to believe, that Auburn Mayor Nancy Backus had personally intervened on behalf of a youth pastor who had just pleaded guilty to sexually assaulting a 15-year-old girl from his church. Felony child rape in the third degree. And what we discovered was not just a single letter, but a pattern spanning years. Pastor Josh Headley received awards from Auburn's Chamber of Commerce while awaiting trial for child rape. After serving just 6 months in prison, he returned under a new identity, Jay Seeley, and was immediately embraced again, apparently, by the political and business community, working with more than a dozen politicians and political causes, even getting a contract to produce social media videos with teenage students on a school levy campaign in Yelm. He was even honored again by the chamber using his new name. And we're told the mayor was explicitly warned. Pastor LaShund Lambert of Resurrection Church in Auburn says he personally called Mayor Backus with the police report in hand. He told her exactly what Headley had done. That was in May 2022. Here is what Pastor Lambert describes that warning he gave to the mayor and what happened next.
When I first started hearing about it, it was just whispers that something had happened, and something had happened, and something had happened. And with me, instead of deciding that someone has done something because people said it, I just need to track it down. And when I couldn't find straight answers, and it's just, oh, it's not true, or it's definitely true, I turned in a Freedom of Information request and got the police report. And I read it, and it was one of the most nauseating things I've ever read in my 29 years of ministry.
I asked him why.
Because of the sickening treatment of an underage person. Now, if it had been a person of age, it still would have been terrible. But because it was a minor that was in the care of someone they should have been able to trust, it was just an unthinkable horror that went on for a period of time. Not that a one-time sexual assault is a small thing. That is not true. But repetitive actions at this level being dealt with in a very nonchalant way by some of our public leaders was just unthinkable to me.
So you get the report and you have this knowledge now. What did you do with it?
What I did was I talked to the mayor on the phone. She encouraged me that she told me that she would contact the chief so that she could see the report. And I believe that was in May of 2022 when I had a hard copy in my hand. And I wanted the person that was in charge of our ultimate safety, because our police department does not report only to the chief. Our police are city employees. So the chief person in charge of our safety is our mayor. And I wanted her to not be caught off guard if she did not know.
In your conversation on the phone with her, this is in May of 2022.
Yes.
You told her specifically, listen, there is a damning police report of Josh Headley and you need to be aware.
What I told her was, I've read the police report. It is horrible. It is sickening. And this is why the ministers and other people didn't want to be a part of the Faith Roundtable, because if this individual, who I'm hoping has gotten things right with Jesus, I'm believing that he has, and because I don't want him forever known by this, but we must protect our community. But I told the mayor, this is why people don't want to work with you. It's not your politics, it's not your policies, is that you have someone involved that intentionally took advantage of a child. And if you can tolerate those things, it's a problem to them. And she assured me that was not her. She had no knowledge of it. She did not know everything, like full stop. We're going to make sure that we're not affiliated. And later on, we find out that's not the case.
Months later, Josh Headley reaches out to the mayor, and the mayor then, in turn, for his sentencing, submits a letter to his attorney asking for leniency.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think when you heard she did that?
I didn't want to believe it because I heard that it had happened. And so I started looking for a way to get a copy of the letter. And then over time, I think it was maybe last year, I finally got a copy of the letter, and I sent the mayor an email, which I think you can find because someone posted that letter because it was all freedom of information, asking her, if this is a lie, please defend yourself. And if this is true, please explain. Because I did not want to believe the person that our entire city has to trust would look for leniency for someone that done such a despicable thing.
Now, we were able to see that letter. The mayor wrote to Headley's attorney asking the court for treatment instead of jail time. If you go to our YouTube live feed right now, you can see this letter, and you can also see it on mynorthwest.com. The email in part reads, while I realize, this is from Backus, the mayor of Auburn, while I realize that Josh has pled guilty to the charges that were filed against him, I am asking the court for treatment for Josh versus jail/prison time. I truly believe that our community would be best served by the treatment option. I do not take my comments and requests lightly, as I am responsible for the safety of our city. So when I confronted Mayor Backus about the letter earlier this month, she expressed regret for writing it, saying she wouldn't do the same thing knowing what she knows now. She also says she hasn't spoken to Headley in more than 3 years. And one last note here. At 4 p.m. on Friday, October 3rd, I sent a confidential list of questions to Mayor Backus and only Mayor Backus. That same day, I filed a public records request with the city. Just 29 hours later, 9:53 p.m. Saturday, Joshua Headley sent me an unsolicited email writing, I understand there may be a news story coming out. I only sent that email to Backus and made a public records request and no one else. Headley found out within hours. Backus denies telling him. Now, this is a complicated story with so many layers. I hope you can check out all the twists and turns. We have video and an extensive write-up on mynorthwest.com.
And you have been working tirelessly on this for 6 weeks. Excellent reporting.
Yeah, it's a complicated case. This is a sort of place that does not get the scrutiny, say, Seattle, Everett, Tacoma does. But I think it's really important that we take a close look at what city leaders are saying.
Again, full story. You need to watch it at mynorthwest.com.
At 6:23, let's head over to the traffic desk with Chris Sullivan.
And we've got a 20-minute delay on northbound I-5 trying to get from South Center up into downtown Seattle. We've been working with a crash in two lanes, two right lanes, right center lanes, right past the West Seattle Bridge, which has caused a pretty sizable backup. You're going to need about an hour from Federal Way to Seattle already, so that's well behind to start your Thursday morning. Rest of the map, about average. If you're coming up the Valley Freeway, you're going to have the brake lights in Pacific, a little bit more in Auburn, then the north end is not too bad, but give yourself about 55 minutes from Puyallup up to Renton. Renton to Bellevue is about 25 minutes, so not terrible there. Olympia to Tacoma, freeway speed for you guys the whole way. 16 looks really good, 18 not too bad at this point. Coming down from the north end, our good friend Jay telling me that looks like the State Patrol might be working with a truck driver there on the side of the road near 128th coming down, so that explains a little bit of the braking there. Need about 45 minutes from Everett to Bellevue, about 40 from Everett to Seattle. Highway 9 and 522 are starting to see a little bit of braking in the normal places, but all in all, not bad. Lake bridges are quiet. KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
And our forecast, we're going to be mainly dry for today. The rain is going to start hitting the coast later today, 62. And then once it starts, it's going to be around for several days. Heavy rain in the forecast for tomorrow and Saturday and Sunday. Mid-50s for the next couple of days. Only the low 50s on Sunday. Looks like the rain will start to back off on Monday. Right now, it's 53 in Seattle.
Coming up, arrests are underway this hour across the country. A massive investigation happening within the NBA surrounding illegal gambling. And the head coach of the Portland Trail Blazers has been arrested in connection with it. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey has the details.
We'll also get to the opening bell report here on Seattle's Morning News.
A 55-yard interception return by Easley.
Celebrating 50 years of Seahawks football.
Number 45. Kenny Easley, as pure an athlete as has ever played that free safety position. Saw him the very first day at training camp after his first-round draft choice. All of us veterans looked at each other and said, we've got something here, and we sure did.
Since the beginning, KIRO is where Seattle and the Pacific Northwest have heard the Seahawks play. Here's to the next 50 years.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
This is actress Holly Robinson Peete for Eggland's Best. Whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, make sure you're choosing wholesome ingredients like Eggland's Best Eggs to plus up your nutrition. With more than 6 times the vitamin D and double the omega-3s and vitamin B12 compared to ordinary eggs, Eggland's Best supports a healthy lifestyle. Available in so many delicious varieties, classic, cage-free, and organic. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs. Visit egglandsbest.com to learn more.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying. Just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
Cancer impacts us all, and my family is no different. Mario Bailey here, former Washington Husky wide receiver. I learned firsthand what it's like to have family with the disease after my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. As devastating as cancer is, there is hope because the Cancer Vaccine Institute at UW-Medicine is developing vaccines to treat and prevent the deadliest cancers. Patients undergoing these treatments have seen remarkable results with extended remissions and improved quality of life. And I'm thrilled to say patients who received cancer vaccines over 20 years ago are still alive today. Donations to this institute are crucial in advancing this life-saving work. They fund vital research and clinical trials, ensuring that more lives are touched by hope and healing. I'm excited to share that Safeway is making it easy to donate on your next trip to get groceries. Please join me. Simply stop by any Safeway store, donate, and help ignite the immune system to end cancer. Learn more at uwcvi.org.
Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit muckleshootcasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot.
This October, the Harnish Auto family is partnering up with Mobile Mammo Northwest in the fight against breast cancer. Mobile Mammo Northwest provides accessible mammograms to women across the Puget Sound, bringing early detection and care to those who need it most. For every test drive taken at a Harnish Auto family dealership, we will donate on your behalf. Join us in supporting Mobile Mammo Northwest at the Harnish Auto family, where people matter.
Have you heard the saying, chuck in a truck? The guy running a roofing company out of his messy pickup? Well, here's the scary part. Washington doesn't require a test or experience to be a licensed roofer, and they definitely don't require a brick and mortar location. Chuck could be working out of his apartment with 0 employees, hiring random guys off the street. Yikes. And the SBA says 90% of roofers are out of business within 5 years. Jim here, Chief Roof Nerd at RoofSmart, where we do things right. We have a real location on Central Avenue in Kent and a team of 50 full-time roofing pros who actually know what they're doing. We're not some fly-by-night outfit. We've put down roots, or in our case, a cement foundation, so you'll always know where to find us. No disappearing acts, no cut corners, just top-quality work from people you can trust. That's RoofSmart. Come see for yourself, or call us at 206-487-4877, or visit us online at getroofsmart.com. That's 206-487-4877 or getroofsmart.com.
You can count on trusted local news and information from the Seattle Times, one of the few independent, locally owned news organizations in the country, right here in the Pacific Northwest. Subscribe today and don't miss a beat at seattletimes.com/subscribe.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It is 6:30. A stunning turn in the NBA overnight. Portland Trail Blazers head coach Chauncey Billups has been arrested and charged in connection with an illegal poker operation allegedly tied to the mafia.
And in separate FBI sports gambling probe, 6 other people were reportedly taken into custody, including a popular player on the Miami Heat.
We get more details live from KIRO Newsradio's Luke Ducey.
Yeah, these allegations, you're going to be hearing about them all morning and all day long from federal investigators, are pretty explosive, that a handful of players and at least one coach are turning professional basketball into a criminal gambling operation. Well, Billups was arrested by the FBI in Oregon last night. He's expected to make a court appearance later today, according to ABC News. The charges he could face are related to illegal gambling, but for right now, it's being reported that gambling was not related to any games. Billups coached the Trailblazers in their season opener just the other night, Wednesday night. They lost that game to the Minnesota Timberwolves, by the way. The FBI says Billups was among several people arrested in a sweeping gambling operation. However, Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier is also accused of using inside information to place illegal bets, including a 2022 game. He had been investigated for this, where he left early with an injury after a $14,000 wager had been placed on him to underperform. Now, the Chauncey Billups news comes as the Paul Allen estate recently announced a deal to sell the Trailblazers for more than $4 billion. That deal still needs NBA approval, but would keep the team in Portland. Charlie and Manda, more to come on this developing story throughout the morning. What is going to happen to Billups is one big question. Could this impact the deal to sell the Trailblazers now? And FBI Director Kash Patel has scheduled a press conference at 10 a.m. Eastern, which is 7 a.m. our time. We will absolutely share what he says right here on Seattle's Morning News.
And I just want to make sure I'm clear on this, Luke. It sounds like there are two different types of gambling happen. The one player is believed to be involved with sports gambling, but Billups, this is like a poker operation.
Yes, so far.
Okay.
But let's see what the FBI has to say here, because all of these arrests in connection with two of these situations happened at the same time. So let's see what the FBI says. But so far, yes, one related to sports gambling, one to an illegal gambling operation, poker perhaps, but illegal gambling nonetheless.
And as we heard from CBS News, they say arrests are still happening at this hour. So we'll be on top of that. Appreciate it, Luke. It's 6:32 now.
The city of Seattle has reached an agreement with the SPD Police Officers Guild on a new contract. And we get the details from KIRO Newsradio's James Lynch.
Mayor Bruce Harrell says the contract ratified last weekend improves accountability with civilian investigators, streamlines the disciplinary process, and includes hiring and retention bonuses and incentives. Here's Seattle Mayor Bruce Harrell.
This new contract will build on our progress to turn around what was a staffing crisis.
The contract also elevates the care team behavioral crisis responders, making it a city public safety department along with police and fire. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
6:33 now, and Chris Sullivan is watching traffic this morning.
And we are looking at about a 20-minute delay on northbound I-5 as you make your way from South Center into downtown. Really heavy past the West Seattle Bridge. We had an earlier crash there that might still be over on the shoulder, causing some issues. It had been in two lanes, so we have a pretty sizable backup from the Michigan curve all the way past the West Seattle Bridge. You're going to need close to an hour all the way from Federal Way to Seattle. Valley Freeway still struggling through the Pacific area with the lane restrictions. You're going to need about an hour to go from Puyallup to Renton. That's about a 15 to 20-minute delay total. It's not terrible out of Auburn at this point. Looking at Renton to Bellevue at 25 minutes. Coming down from the north end, starting to see a little braking in Marysville, a little bit westbound across the Trestle, a little bit between the Everett Mall and Alderwood. About 45 minutes from Everett to Bellevue, about 43 from Everett to Seattle. So really not too bad. Olympia to Tacoma's looking pretty good. And of course, we're still working on this closure of westbound I-90 over in Cle Elum with that bridge strike, and we may not know what's going to be happening or the future of that until Monday, at least according to the governor's office. This report brought to you by FlySeaportAir.com, introducing convenient flights between Boeing Field and Portland on Seaport Airlines, just parking steps away. No TSA lines. Visit FlySeaportAir.com.
Should be dry for the bulk of the day. The rain is going to start first on the coast, late today, 62-hour high. And then tomorrow, here comes that heavy rain. It'll be windy, too, for tomorrow and Saturday, highs in the mid-50s. Sunday, the rain continues, snow in the mountains, and a high of only 52. Looks like the showers will taper off on Monday. Right now in Seattle, it's 53.
6:35 now, time for the opening bell report. It's been a strong year for Microsoft earnings and an even stronger one for its CEO. Satya Nadella made $96.5 million this year, a personal record. Most of that came from stock awards, not salary. Microsoft stock is up more than 23% in 2025. According to the Seattle Times, Nadella's annual base pay will be $2.5 million. That is unchanged since 2019.
Well, the costs are expected to rise to $300 million, and the size of the project is becoming clearer. The east wing of the White House is being totally demolished to make room for President Trump's ballroom project that many critics say will overwhelm the size of the main White House itself. Here's CBS News White House correspondent Weijia Jiang.
As construction crews continue to tear down the east wing of the White House.
Nobody's actually seen anything quite like it. I think it'll be one of the great ballrooms anywhere in the world.
President Trump showed off the plan.
It's really an honor to add that great ballroom to the structures in Washington. It's going to be one of the great ballrooms of the world, and I think it's going to be something you're all going to be very proud of.
The 90,000-square-foot ballroom, once finished, will be nearly double the size of the main White House building.
In another move to show he's displeased with Russian leader Vladimir Putin, President Trump is putting sanctions on Russia's two largest oil companies. It's a pressure move, as Trump says he'll not meet with Putin as planned this week unless and until Russia moves toward an end of the war in Ukraine. CBS News White House correspondent Nancy Cordes has more.
The sanctions were met with approval yesterday from NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte.
What the president is doing today with these sanctions is putting more pressure, of course, on both parties, in this case on Russia. It's all about changing the calculus.
The move brings Trump more in line with European leaders. But as recently as this weekend, Trump was arguing Ukraine should accept that some territory is gone for good.
Let it be cut the way it is. It's cut up right now. I think 78% of the land is already taken by Russia. You leave it the way it is right now.
The U.S. national debt has hit a new milestone, as we hear from correspondent Jesse Mitchell.
The U.S. gross national debt has surpassed $38 trillion for the first time ever, according to Treasury Department data. This as the federal government shutdown is now the second longest in U.S. history, spanning into day 23. Government shutdowns can boost the national debt because they delay economic activity and postpone fiscal decisions.
A recent survey from the nonpartisan Peterson Foundation shows 81% of voters believe the national debt is an issue of concern.
Starting tomorrow, federal workers in 3 Washington counties can ride transit for free. Kitsap, Pierce, and Mason counties are waiving fares during the government shutdown. Just show your federal employee ID and hop on. No charge. The offer covers buses, ferries, van pools, and paratransit. Transit agencies say it's a way to help workers who are still on duty but may not be getting paid. Fares will resume once the shutdown ends.
Health insurance premiums are about to jump for thousands of people in Washington. The Office of the Insurance Commissioner says rates on the state's exchange will rise an average of 21% next year. That's because federal tax credits are set to expire and Congress has not extended them. Some counties could see even bigger hikes, up to 133% in Yakima, 95% in King and Snohomish. Officials say 80,000 people may drop coverage if the subsidies disappear. Open enrollment starts November 1st.
And on Wall Street, as we have the opening bell, we have the Dow Jones Industrial Average up 6 points. S&P 500 ahead by 14 points, and the Nasdaq has gained 26.
A word for KIRO 7 News, live starting at 4. It's news that puts you there, so you can see for yourself. News that's happening now, so you're ready. News that investigates to get you answers. News that's local, because where you live matters. No more, no now. On KIRO 7 News at 4, 5, and 6 p.m.
Okay, Chris, what's coming up in traffic?
We're going to take a look at the northbound I-5 drive, which is really struggling past Boeing Field. We'll break it down for you next.
The opening bell is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital's Northwest Fund.
Looking for even more Seahawks content? Then you gotta check out The Reset. Hey, it's G. Scott, and every week, me and my co-host and Seahawks great Brandon Meebane talk Seahawks. We break down the matchups, and we're joined by former Seahawks players.
From Lakewood to Lombardi, Seahawks champion, my main man, Jermaine Kearse.
What up, G? Watch The Reset live on YouTube or subscribe on the Seattle Sports app.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have Leaf Filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
So what will you have today? Vanilla, chocolate, strawberry?
When it comes to picking ice cream, there are lots of choices, and they all look and sound so good. Choosing a Medicare plan is a lot like that. So many options, all sound good. But if you pick a plan that's not right for you, there can be serious consequences. Hi, this is Herb Weisbaum, the Consumer Man. Open enrollment season is underway, and we're all being inundated with advertisements encouraging us to choose this Medicare Advantage plan or that one. Maybe the best choice for you is traditional Medicare. To make an informed decision, you need to do your homework. The Insurance Commissioner's Sheba program has a free Medicare Jumpstart Toolkit to get you started.
This is Insurance Commissioner Patty Kuderer. Our Medicare Jumpstart Toolkit has a checklist of 7 easy steps to help you decide which Medicare plan is right for you.
Order your free toolkit today at insurance.wa.gov. That's insurance.wa.gov. Or pick up a copy at your local library or senior center. Then go get an ice cream.
6:43 now. We head over to Chris Sullivan for traffic.
And we are struggling northbound I-5 from about the north end of Boeing Field all the way up past the West Seattle Bridge. We have reports of a couple of crashes there right around Albro, though I haven't been able to find one. We did have one earlier just north of the West Seattle Bridge that might still be impacting traffic. That for a while was blocking 2 center lanes. So either way, we have a pretty steady backup, about 3 miles worth. 20-minute delay, hour drive from Federal Way to Seattle with 40 of those minutes from South Center. So it's not exactly a very good drive. Now, Renton to Bellevue is actually really starting to heat up. Looking for anything just past SR 900 or the landing exit there coming out of Renton, but those S-curves are really slow today. You're going to need about 30 minutes already. Behind that, it's close to an hour from Puyallup to Renton, the normal slowing through Pacific, normal stuff in Auburn, and then the north end part of that drive isn't terrible. Olympia to Tacoma, nice and easy for you guys. Most of Pierce County is relatively quiet. There are some brake lights down the hill, South Hill into Puyallup on 512. Coming down from the north end, give yourself about 50 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. Brake lights past 128. Their drivers had said there was a semi pulled over there by police trucking enforcement there, so we'll see what that's up to there. But then after that, it's a relatively normal drive. The lake bridges are fine. This report brought to you by D.R. Horton. The National Red Tag Sales event has been extended through October 26th. Visit a D.R. Horton community today or drhorton.com, America's builder and equal housing opportunity builder.
Our forecast, we're going to stay mainly dry for today. Rain will start on the coast tonight, 62 our high, and then here comes the heavy rain. An inch is in the forecast for tomorrow, 58 our high. Rainy and windy for Saturday and Sunday as well. Showers will start to taper off on Monday, but it's going to be a very wet weekend. Right now it's 53 in Seattle.
A husband's tribute is turning heads and raising eyebrows. Here's KIRO Newsradio's Katrina Gashard.
Beloved actress Suzanne Summers died in 2023, but her husband, Alex Hamill, is keeping her memory alive in an interesting way. He created an AI clone of his wife using her voice that interacts with fans online.
What's your favorite memory that we share?
Oh, there's so many. One of my favorites is when Alan and I were filming a cooking segment together a long time ago. We had a little mishap with the blender.
He told People magazine, when you look at the finished one next to the real Suzanne, you can't tell the difference. He went on to tell the magazine it was actually the TV icon's idea before she died of breast cancer. Once the AI clone is complete, it'll be uploaded to SuzanneSummers.com as a 24/7 AI chatbot for her fans to talk to.
No. I'm not ready for this.
Yeah.
I saw the picture of the picture you're talking about, and I just kind of went,
This is just going to be the norm in 10 years, probably.
Right?
Yeah. So
this reminds me like a few years ago when they had like an AI like simulation of Michael Jackson performing on stage, and it was very like mind-blowing to people, and they were so upset. So grief is hard. This is different.
It's his way of expressing it. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Katrina. Sully, what's coming up in your choke point?
Well, we're going to take a look at winter weather and whether or not you and the state are ready to roll.
Stacey Rost here from Seattle Sports. Ladies and gentlemen, this is for you too. Stubborn fat is really hard to get rid of. And then there's all those gimmicky lasers, fat freezing methods, prescriptions. But imagine a simple solution that takes just one day and provides immediate noticeable results. Introducing ProSculpt. ProSculpt uses air-assisted technology that's safe and gentle, yet powerful, delivering instant fat-reducing and skin-tightening results. Performed by board-certified plastic surgeons while fully awake, ProSculpt contours your body with minimal downtime. It's designed to target problem areas: waistline, face, neck, arms, thighs. ProSculpt gently removes unwanted fat and tightens loose skin with FDA-cleared plasma technology, all in a simple, guaranteed one-day procedure. ProSculpt is one and done. For your free consultation and $250 off, visit ProSculpt.com for powerful permanent fat removal and skin tightening that works for ladies and you men. It's ProSculpt.com.
Upgrade your home comfort and save 20% during the Bob's Heating preseason furnace sale. With great savings plus free financing on heat pumps, water heaters, generators, and more, our award-winning team has what you need to stay cozy this chilly season at a cost you're comfortable with. Voted best in the Pacific Northwest, we're honored to be your dedicated home comfort company since 1957. Call Bob's and save today.
Bob's Heating and Air Conditioning. Call Bob.
Carter Subaru is Seattle's only Subaru dealership and has the largest selection of Subarus in the entire state. For a limited time, you can get the 2025 Subaru Crosstrek starting at 1.9% financing for 60 months. With over 250 Crosstreks to choose from, you'll find the exact color and trim you're looking for. Visit Carter Subaru in Shoreline and Ballard or anytime at cartersubaru.com.
On approved credit, subject to vehicle insurance and availability. A documentary service fee may be added to the sale price or capitalized cost. See dealer for details. Valid through 10/31/25.
You've been wiring pounds to a second wife in London.
It's not what it looks like.
And here she is now.
Sure it isn't.
Hello, darling.
Elizabeth?
Did you know our husband used a bank instead of Wise to send you money? What an imbecile.
Well,
see, even your secret wife knows that banks are slow and hide fees in overseas transfers.
Those cheaters.
If you want to send money overseas, use Wise. They're faster and they don't hide fees.
You can save up to 70% when you send money abroad. Be smart. Get Wise. Learn more by visiting wise.com. T's and C's apply.
Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Hey, oh, let's go.
Now, Choke Points with Chris Solomon.
Presented by Carter Subaru.
It's now 6:49. We mentioned just a few minutes ago, snow is expected down to pass level over the weekend.
Are you ready for winter driving in this state? Sully is here with a look at the preparations.
And the first thing you need to do is give your car that good old once-over to make sure it's ready for winter. State Trooper Rick Johnson with the basics.
To make sure your vehicle's, maintained. Make sure your tread depth is where it's supposed to be. Windshield wipers, headlights, the usual stuff. The other thing is, if you know it's going to be snowing on the pass and you're not comfortable driving in those conditions, don't.
Time to put a small bag in the car in case you get stuck. A few bottles of water, a couple power bars, a blanket, some gloves, a warm hat. Make sure the flashlight that you carry in your car, you all are carrying a flashlight in your car, right? You better be. Make sure it has fresh batteries. As you make your preparations, the 1,500 Washington Department of Transportation maintenance workers are doing the same thing. The sheds are full of salt, other materials, and the more than 500 snowplows have been inspected. WashDOT's Tina Werner says the team is ready.
They've been doing a lot of winter preparedness trainings, getting equipment ready, making sure our maintenance sheds, from Port Angeles to Pullman are ready to go.
The biggest issue on the passes each year usually comes down to driver behavior. Us, what we do or what we don't do, primarily failing to follow the chain up or traction tire restrictions right at the top of the list.
Many pass closures can be due to people driving way too fast for conditions, not following chain up requirements when that is posted, or driving distracted or impaired. One poor choice like that can shut down a pass for everyone.
All large rigs are required to carry chains starting November 1st, and you can expect heavy enforcement early in the season. Not only will you get a hefty fine, you'll be sent back down the pass. That's a bad day. The other issue for winter driving is overconfidence. Overconfidence in your driving ability and overconfidence in your vehicle's ability. How many times have you seen that all-wheel drive vehicle whip by you in the snow? Trooper Johnson with a thought on that.
It's really cool how easy you can get going in slippery conditions, but the icy roadways don't care if you have a 42-wheel drive vehicle because you're not going to stop any quicker than anybody else.
It's the stopping that gets you in winter conditions. It isn't the starting. You can put on your studded tires November 1st, but WashDOT encourages you to think of other traction alternatives. Estimates that studded tires can cause up to 29 $29 million, that is, $29 million in damages each year to the roads. And if you still have chains, you still have to put them on, even if you have studded tires, if they're required. So there are plenty of options out there to check out. And now is the time to practice putting on your chains. You don't want your first attempt to be putting them on while it's freezing and you're on the snow on the side of a wintry highway.
Ooh, sounds like fun weekend plans. Hey, Ethel, let's put some chains on the car just to try it out.
Yep, that's the way to do it. Or teach your kids, your young drivers, how to do it. So they, and also look into all the different types of alternatives. They have, basically tire socks that you can put on, nice and easy. It isn't the all cable chain like we had to do back in the day. So there are lots of options out there. So yeah, just make sure you're ready. And that's the thing. If you're not confident, have somebody else drive or don't go. Don't be that Prius driver that we saw last year at the start of the year, went up, didn't follow the signs, and basically shut down the pass on one of the first heavy snow weekends. So please be ready.
I have a flashlight in my car, and I think it's been there since I bought the car, so I probably should check the batteries.
You might want to check that, because and an extra charger and all sorts of things for your phone and stuff like that. You never know how long it's going to. I mean, last week we talked about the avalanche control and how they're improving that, but we still could be waiting 2 hours if you get caught in something that they have to take care of right away. So we probably won't have to deal with that this weekend. But it's just a good reminder. It's not that far away.
Okay. You can find out more at mynorthwest.com. It is 6:53, and you know what that means. It's time to check traffic with Sully.
And we are doing about average now that we've cleared the crash on northbound I-5 past the West Seattle Bridge. But it looks like we do have another one right there near the Michigan curve that might still be causing some issues. It's an hour drive from Federal Way to Seattle, so we're a little bit behind schedule, probably by about 10 minutes over what we normally see at 6:53 in the morning on a Thursday. Looking at northbound 167 filling in through Pacific, through the lane restrictions, then heavy in and out of Auburn, a little bit more at the north end now. So definitely well over an hour from Puyallup to Renton, about a 15 to 20 minute delay over what you might expect. And then a solid half an hour from Renton to Bellevue. The S-curves are really slow today, but by the time you're to 30th, it actually eases off, and the rest of the way on up into Bellevue shouldn't be too bad. Looking at Tiger Mountain, looks like we might have a crash now just at past the summit on eastbound 18, because we're stacked up coming up the west slope and then down towards the Raging River, so that's a little bit behind. Coming down from the north end, about 50 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue, so really not terrible by most days' standards. Olympia to Tacoma is nice and easy at about 35 to 40. This report brought to you by Global Credit Union, where members enjoy no-fee accounts and early payday with direct deposit. You can learn more at globalcu.org.
Our forecast, pretty calm today, mostly cloudy skies. The rain's going to hold off until tonight. 62 our high today. Once that rain starts, it's not going to stop for a while. For tomorrow, we're looking for an inch of rain. Windy 2 and a high of 58. Rainy and windy on Saturday with a half inch of rain, 54. The rain continues on Sunday, snow in the mountains, and only 52. Should taper off to scattered showers Monday. It's 53 in Seattle right now.
Okay, coming up in the next hour, KIRO Newsradio's Luke Ducey updates us on a couple big criminal investigations happening in Seattle this morning.
Also, the Rick Riz Show. We're going to check in with the legendary Mariners broadcaster one last time for the year. He's going to wrap up the Mariners' historic season and look to the future. That's coming up at 7:15.
I am looking forward to that.
Me too.
It'll be cathartic.
I think so.
You are listening to Seattle's Morning News, and you can always text us 888-973-5476. This is KIRO News Radio.
Makita's built for the pros who show up early, who don't do shortcuts, only precise cuts. With tools built to last, job after job, year after year. Performance that pays off, because when the job calls for the best, you answer. And when you need the best, you call on Makita. Built to be the best. Available at the Home Depot.
Help DEA keep our communities safe and healthy by participating in National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, Saturday, October 25th. Take action right in your own home by cleaning out your medicine cabinet of unneeded medications. Keep them safe, clean them out, take them back. Find a collection site near you at DEATakeback.com. Do your part to lower overdose deaths and prevent prescription drug misuse before it starts. That's DEATakeback.com.
KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
We are
Subaru of Puyallup.
We're stress-free.
Stress-free. Estamos libre de estrés.
We're almost 100 employees strong. We make sure the sales process is smooth.
We have video car walkthroughs.
We have stress-free pricing.
We value our customers and we value their experience.
We're like a family here.
We love our community.
And support local charities. We are
Subaru
of Puyallup, your
stress-free
dealership.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Severe from Vicks.
Sinex Severe nasal spray.
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Severe instantly relieves nasal congestion and works 6 times faster than nasal decongestant tablets. The 12 hours of relief allow you to get back to the moments that matter without congestion.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Try Sinex Severe from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
There's nothing like when you get that part from eBay and it just fits. Yeah, the first time. So you can do less of this and get right back to more of this. At eBay, you'll find all the parts you need, guaranteed to fit, at prices you'll love. Sounds good, doesn't it? eBay, things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
You're losing your hair and you simply need a solution that works. You want the best. Modern technology, top-rated physicians, something that's guaranteed to work. Guys, you need world-class Dr. Parango and his team at Advanced Hair. Advanced Hair has completely redefined hair restoration. From the experience itself to their unmatched results. Receding hairline, bald spot, thinning hair, maybe all three like I had. Get your hair back with Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment that begins to regrow your own natural hair the very next day. Advanced Hair has changed tens of thousands of lives, including mine. And get this, Advanced Hair is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. For your free consultation, call 425-449-8185. Right now, you'll get $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. Refine your hairline with the team that redefined hair restoration. That's 425-449-8185. Or for the before and afters, visit advancedhair.com.
New siding doesn't have to break the bank. We offer affordable options that add value and protection to your home. This is Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. And while we're at it, ask about our roofing, windows, decking, and gutter services for even more savings. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to schedule your free siding inspection. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
State Roofing, the best roof you'll ever need.
Cancers impact so many, but there's hope because the UW Cancer Vaccine Institute is developing ways to treat and prevent the deadliest cancers. Learn more at uwcvi.org about patients who received treatment 20 years ago that are healthy today. You can help by donating to fight at your local Safeway.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. There is stunning news from the sports world this morning. CBS News has learned arrests have been taking place across the country in 2 criminal cases. One, an alleged betting ring headed by organized crime figures. Sports fans will know the names.
Law enforcement sources say those arrested include at least one active coach, Portland's Chauncey Billups, allegedly involved in a high-stakes poker operation, one active NBA player.
Three-pointer, Terry Rozier.
Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier was arrested here in Orlando this morning. The Heat played the Magic last night. ESPN reports sports betting operations in several states flagged suspicious betting interest on Rozier's statistics ahead of a Charlotte-New Orleans game back in 2023. Rozier played just 10 minutes for the Hornets that night. Peter King, CBS News, Orlando.
The federal government shutdown is now in its 23rd day. Correspondent Jared Hill says there is a vote ahead on Capitol Hill.
Today, the U.S. Senate is expected to consider a bill that would allow some federal employees, like active duty military, to get paid while the shutdown drags on. Senate Democrats are pushing for a measure that would allow all federal workers to get paid.
Outrage growing over President Trump's admission the entire east wing of the White House will be destroyed to make room for a massive 90,000 square foot ballroom. Brian Green served on the commission that approves plans for federal buildings.
This is part of our heritage. This is part of our story as Americans. And we deserve to have that conversation about its fate and what happens to it.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio has arrived in Israel, tag-teaming Vice President Vance and Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, all trying to ensure President Trump's peace plan for Gaza will remain in place. Correspondent Holly Williams is in Tel Aviv.
The ceasefire has held now more or less for more than 13 days, although at times it has looked to be teetering on the brink of collapse, most especially last Sunday when Israel briefly resumed its deadly strikes on Gaza, killing at least 45 Palestinians, according to health officials.
2026 nominees for the Songwriters Hall of Fame have just been announced. Chalk up another possible honor for Taylor Swift, as well as Pink and Kenny Loggins. Also on the ballot,
don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years. I'm rocking my
LL Cool J. Kiss founding members Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley have been nominated too, just days after the death of founding member Ace Frehley. Winners will be announced early next year. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
It's 7:03. Let's head over to the traffic desk with Chris Sullivan.
We have settled into a normal commuting pattern on this Thursday morning. Travel times right about what they should be. We've got about an hour now from Federal Way to Seattle. We had a couple of little crashes, fender benders last hour, kind of between Michigan, the curve there up past the West Seattle Bridge, but those appear to all be over onto the shoulder now. So, as I said, about an hour, it's about average. The Valley Freeway is the one that's really behind schedule, but it's become normal with the lane restrictions we have in the Pacific area. You've got about an hour drive from Puyallup to Renton. Renton to Bellevue is a solid 30 minutes. The S-curves are very active, but then it gets better the further north that you go. Still looking for a crash on eastbound 18 on the downhill side, the east slope, as you work your way down towards the Raging River over Tiger Mountain. That one's pretty well backed up, so I'm still waiting to get more confirmation on what we have there. Out of the north end, really thick through Canyon Park on 405 through Bothell. It's an hour from Everett to Bellevue. It's about 50 minutes from Everett to Seattle. And it looks like we had some maintenance work going on southbound 529 right at the Snohomish River Bridge that really kind of did a number, but looks like that has cleared at the moment. This report brought to you by Kia of Everett. Kia just dropped the biggest EV deals that they've ever seen. Save thousands on the EV6 and EV9. More at Kia of Everett. Simple, easy, fun.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It's 7:04. Thanks for joining us today. Seattle police are busy on two major investigations this morning.
One is in Pioneer Square, where officers arrested a 39-year-old man after a stabbing. Another in North Seattle, where detectives are looking into a deadly crash.
And KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey joins us live with the latest.
Yeah, let's start in North Seattle. A man is dead after a hit and run there happened last night at 15th Avenue and 73rd. Police say they found the 56-year-old victim in the roadway. He was trying to cross the street in an area, police say, not designated for pedestrian crossing. Here's SPD's Eric Munoz.
I don't know exactly the position that the pedestrian was in, but I do know they were crossing the street diagonally southbound when they were struck by that vehicle.
Police say the suspect's car could be a silver sedan, most likely has front-end damage. Police are obviously trying to find that driver. And now to Pioneer Square. This was in the middle of the afternoon yesterday on 3rd Avenue. The victim waved down police after he had been stabbed, they say. They also say he told them the suspect approached him asking for drugs, and when he said he didn't have any, that's when the suspect stabbed him. Officers later identified the suspect in that same area. He could now face felony assault charges. And before we go, the other big story that we're tracking right now, the FBI arrest of Portland Trailblazers coach Chauncey Billups and others in two alleged separate gambling investigations that have been ongoing with the FBI. The FBI press conference I've been monitoring, happening in just seconds from now. I am on top of it. We'll have the latest and sound from the FBI in that investigation at the bottom of the hour.
Okay, busy morning. Thank you, Luke. 7:06 now. Pierce County Sheriff's Major Chad Dickerson is due in court November 6.
On Wednesday, prosecutors charged him with 2 counts of vehicular assault DUI. They say in July he crashed into an SUV in Graham with a family family of 6 inside, including 3 children, their parents, and grandmother. The grandmother and one of the kids were hurt. The mother was 7 months pregnant. According to court documents, Dickerson's blood alcohol level hours after the crash was .091. Washington's legal limit is .08. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
Oh, we should know by Monday when westbound I-90 near Cle Elum will reopen. Governor Bob Ferguson says State Patrol is still investigating after an overheight truck took out an overpass. The Department of Transportation's Megan Lott says engineers are assessing the damage.
So that we can start putting the pieces in motion to try and figure out when we can get an emergency contract to get this fixed and repaired.
And the governor says the state plans to work with the trucking company to pay for those repairs. More than 17,000 vehicles a day use I-90 there. More than 1,500 use the overpass.
Seattle's longest-running radio news show. Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
Well, good morning. It's Thursday, October 23rd. It's Friday Eve.
Yeah, that's the way to look at it. Soggy weekend ahead, huh?
Yeah. Hunker down. Maybe turn on the fireplace for the first time.
Yeah. Mine's broken. I got to get that fixed. This is the wrong weekend to realize.
You're supposed to do that before the season starts, Charlie.
That's poor planning by Charlie Harger. All right. Well, Chris Sullivan is here. You are checking roads on the 3s.
Yep. Nice and easy today, relatively, before the storm arrives tomorrow.
Yeah, that'll keep you on your toes tomorrow. Producer David Burbank is in the studio. We have Katrina Gashard out at the news desk, and Nick Krasia is picking the music and running the board.
And coming up this hour, our final installment of the Rick Riz Show for the year. Rick's going to wrap up the historic Mariners season and look ahead to the future.
And we'll speak to thehill.com reporter Tara Suter, breaking down everything happening to the White House with the president's planned ballroom, why he has chosen to tear down the entire East Wing.
It's 7:08. The Everett City Council has approved new stay-out-of-drug areas or SODA zones near downtown. This man tells KIRO 7 drug use is a concern.
I do remember one time being in my apartment and then hearing I'd be like, whoa, for 40, 50 minutes. Wow. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure that guy was on drugs.
People convicted or accused of drug crimes will now be banned from entering those areas as part of the city's effort to curb drug-related activity.
The Tacoma City Council has expanded its camping ban. The new law adds buffer zones around parks and libraries, building on a previous ban near shelters and rivers passed in 2022.
Kitsap County deputies arrested 4 people yesterday morning after a SWAT standoff at a drug house in East Bremerton. We get more on this from KIRO 7 TV's Dee Dee Sun.
According to deputies, the SWAT team helped serve a drug-related search warrant at a home. The sheriff says it has been a problem house that has brought a lot of unwanted attention to this typically quiet neighborhood. Deputies contacted 15 people inside the house. They arrested 4, 2 of whom were renters, and found evidence of drug activity.
The health department also responded because of septic and plumbing issues at the house.
Serafina, the Italian restaurant just down the street from us here at KIRO, has been broken into 25 times since 2020. Owner Christian Chandler says the latest happened early yesterday morning. Como TV reports the thief used a crowbar, broke in fast, and went straight for the employee tip-out folders. The alarm scared them off, but Chandler says he spent over 6 figures on repairs and security. He's reached out to the city council and Mayor Bruce Harrell, but he says he's gotten no real response.
Spokane's police chief is defending his decision to temporarily block cooperation with the FBI. The Center Square says Chief Kevin Hall issued the order after immigration protests in June. Officers say they were told not to share body cam footage or reports with federal agents. Hall says it was about protecting the city from lawsuits, not obstructing justice. But the county prosecutor says the directive may have violated state law. The FBI eventually got the evidence and filed federal charges against 9 protesters.
In King County, Mpox cases are on the rise. Here's KIRO 7 TV's Elle Thomas.
There were 45 new cases reported in September. That is the highest number since the initial outbreak back in 2022. Public Health is encouraging those who are eligible to get the 2-shot Mpox vaccine series. You can learn more about the demographics of those most impacted on the county's public health website.
We told you earlier this week that Auburn police were surprised to learn immigration officers were accessing the city's flock camera system. Now, Mukilteo police say federal agencies accessed their license plate cameras without local approval. The department says U.S. Customs and Border Protection used the flock system through a national pilot program. That access violated internal policy and wasn't disclosed. Mukilteo has now disabled the national lookup feature and is reviewing all system use. Chief Andy Illen says trust and transparency are non-negotiable, and this breach compromised that trust. The department says it will continue monitoring access to ensure compliance with Washington's privacy laws.
A former Seattle student is suing the school district over a violent classroom assault. Zachariah Sheikh Ibrahim was 13 when a teacher allegedly punched him at Meany Middle School. Lawyers say he suffered brain trauma and has lasting mental health issues. They are asking for up to $124 million in damages. According to the Seattle Times, the trial is expected to run through this month.
And a 1-pound kitten is safe after troopers found her on I-5 near Tacoma. It happened late yesterday morning. She was stuck under a concrete barrier.
Oh, you got her. Nice job, Lauren. Oh, it's such a cutie.
Definitely such a cutie. Troopers took her to the vet. They named her Trooper. No one knows how she got there.
7:12 now. Let's get a check on weather brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. It is the calm before the storm. Rain will hold off till nighttime here in Seattle. We have a high of 62 in the forecast. But tomorrow and through the weekend, it will be rainy and windy, up to an inch of rain tomorrow, a high of 58. And it just stays soggy through the weekend with highs in the low to mid 50s. Right now in Seattle, it is cloudy and 51.
And it's 7:13. Sully, time for traffic.
No real surprises for us out there at this point on the freeways. We're looking pretty good in terms of the braking. It's right where it should be. It lasts about as long as you're used to. So we've got about an hour drive from Federal Way to Seattle. It's really not terrible up through the Kent-Des Moines Road today. So we've got about 35 minutes from South Center. The Renton to Bellevue Drive is running a little over 35 minutes now. So we've seen a little bit more action up towards 44th. But after that, it's really not that bad. Behind that, the Valley Freeway is relatively normal. Hour drive, which is about 15 minutes slower than we've been used to before we had that bridge strike in Pacific. But that's our reality until they can take care of that. Olympia to Tacoma looks really good, though it looks like we might have a crash on southbound I-5 right as you get to 101. I'm checking into that to see what we might have there. Still working with this slowing on eastbound 18 over Tiger Mountain. Looks like the crash on the east slope has cleared. It's kind of heading down towards the raging river. The lake bridges are still fine, and coming out of the north end, we've got about an hour trip from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. That's about what you should expect at this time in the morning. This report brought to you by FlySeaportAir.com, including introducing, that is, 20 convenient flights per day between Boeing Field and Portland with easy parking, no TSA on Seaport Airlines. Book today, FlySeaportAir.com.
The band Bon Jovi is hitting the road next year. Here's KIRO News Radio's Katrina Gashard.
Bon Jovi announced a 7-night summer tour. The Forever Tour kicks off in July of next year with 4 nights in New York's Madison Square Garden before the band heads to Scotland, Dublin, and wraps up in London. It's the first tour since frontman John Bon Jovi underwent major vocal cord surgery.
That's it? 7 stops?
nights?
Yeah, that's all you get.
Okay.
And only 4 in the U.S.?
That's right. All in New York.
Huh.
Feel shot through the heart.
You're to blame.
7:15 now.
We are underway.
There's only one Rick Riz, the voice of the Mariners for 40 years.
The Griffeys with back-to-back home runs. Number 258, a Major League record for Ichiro. Felix has just thrown the first perfect game in Seattle Mariners history.
It's the Rick Riz Show with Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
Rick. We have finally reached the end of the baseball season. Man, did you make some epic calls this season?
Oh, Manda.
Have you recovered yet?
Charlie.
I know.
David.
Get it together, Rick.
Fan out there listening. Oh, what a year. It was the best year on the field in the history of the franchise, But it came to a disappointing end a few nights ago in Toronto when George Springer hit that home run. Mariners had the 3-1 lead. They were just so close they could touch it, and that's the hard part to deal with it, because they were just one win away from playing in the World Series, which the Blue Jays will do instead of the Mariners. But in the locker room in the clubhouse, when you walk into the clubhouse at Rogers Center there, and each side of the hallway are all the logos for the National League teams on one side, American League teams on the other side. And every day I walked in that clubhouse and I looked at this team and that team. I go, they're gone, they're gone, they're gone, they're gone. And on the other side, they're gone, they're gone, they're gone. Everybody was gone except 3 teams. The Dodgers were in. They swept Milwaukee. But at the very end of the year, the last few days of the season, there were only 3 teams left standing. The Seattle Mariners were one of those 3 teams. And I think we have to take a lot of pride in that, in what Dan Wilson did and this coaching staff, and the historic, majestic, mythical year of Cal Raleigh, and the heroics of Jorge Polanco and this team hanging in there despite injuries early in the season. And the injury to Brian Wu at the end of the year, that would have changed things. It was a remarkable season, amazing season by this baseball team, and one that I'll never forget, and I don't think the fans will ever forget either. But they just came so close, and that's what we remember right now, because it's right in front of us. But it was a tremendous year by this baseball team. And Jerry DiPoto and Justin Hollander, Andy McKay did a great job putting this team together.
Rick, what was your favorite moment this year?
Oh, my goodness. That's a great question, Charlie. I'd say, moments watching Cal's season, having an MVP year, what he did, breaking the record for the most home runs by a catcher, breaking the record for most home runs by a switch hitter, Mickey Mantle, breaking the Mariners record, Junior's record for the most home runs in a single season. And catching as many games as he did. If he's not the MVP of the American League, I don't know who is. I know Judge is, everybody talks about Judge, but Cal should be the MVP. But as far as a moment, Cal had so many. Jorge Polanco's base hit in the bottom of the 15th inning to win the division series, to send the Mariners to the American League Championship Series, was, in my mind, the biggest moment, because it kept the season alive, and it was in 15 innings. The Mariners 3 years ago lost in 18 innings in the division series to the Houston Astros, so they were able to erase that. But for Polanco to come through like that in the bottom of the 15th inning and 47,000 people going crazy at the T-Mobile Park was so much fun. But there were so many great moments during the course of the year, but that stands out.
One of my favorite things of the season is how the Cheetos thing took off.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. And I talked about it a lot on your show here. Started last year when I would go into Jerry's booth there and get a snack. He said, "Rick, you can have anything you want." I just want a little bag of Cheetos, before the game. And then he brought them in one night, and we won. This was last year. Brought them in again, and we won. And then this year, at the end of the year, he brought them in Atlanta. I don't know where he got the bag of Cheetos, but we won in Atlanta twice, and then we came home and swept St. Louis, and we swept the Angels, and we won 10 in a row, 17 and 18. And Jerry keeps bringing in the Cheetos, and all of a sudden we got a national sponsor, And I don't know if you saw it, but Randy Johnson did a national spot for Cheetos.
It's hilarious.
It's there, yeah. The Bluebird and Noyes, or the Blue Jay up in the tree. But it goes back to 20 years ago, spring training, when he killed that bird that flew across in front of home plate, and Randy, knocked it out into heaven. And he said, "I wish you were around 20 years ago." But there's, Chester with a bag of Cheetos, so he didn't have to kill the Blue Jay. So it was remarkable how it all took off. We had a lot of fun with it, and hopefully, I got on the plane after the game in Toronto, and it was really quiet. And it was really dark on the plane, and I was on the family plane with the front office, the ownership, and the families, the moms and the kids. And Jerry was sitting there with Tammy, and it was dark. And I reached down, and he gave me a hug, and I said, "You did a super job, buddy." I said, "Next year, spaghetti and meatballs." And he started laughing. So it was a fun thing to do during the course of the year. And it really took a life on its own. I loved it.
Rick, the Mariners felt like they'd kind of really entered the national spotlight this season, what with Cal's historic year, with them making the postseason, kind of making that deep run for the first time. I feel like Dan Wilson has not gotten the national credit that maybe he deserves. His first full season as not only the Mariners manager, but a major league manager in general, he takes the team the furthest they've ever been. How much credit goes to him, you think?
Oh, David, a lot of credit goes to Danny. I mean, the first time around as a manager, he learned from one of the greatest managers in our history, if not the greatest, Lou Piniella. About the ins and outs. He was a catcher, so the catchers seem to make great managers because they got the game in front of them and then handling the pitching staff and all that. One day, Cal Raleigh, I think, is going to be a great manager in the next 20 years or so. But Danny deserves so much credit. He comes in here, and the Mariners were really struggling last year. I mean, they let Scott Service go. They were striking out at a record pace. And here comes Danny, along with his good buddy Edgar Martinez, on August 22nd of last year. And with 34 games left in the season, the Mariners go 21-13 because they just changed the thinking, inside that clubhouse. Don't strike out. Put the ball in play. Get the ball the other way. Shorten your swing with 2 strikes. Edgar, 80%. You don't have to swing out your backside every time. Don't swing at sliders in the dirt. You can't hit that pitch. You need a 7-iron. So it just changed everything. And you saw the core was the starting pitching last year. And you knew you had something to work with. And Danny, kept that thing going with the coaching staff. And I got to always mention the coaching staff. These guys are amazing. He's got a great staff to work with. And, but the early part of the year, guys were hurt. We missed George Kirby at the start of the season for 2 months, and Logan, after he got off to a great start, was hurt, and he was out for 2 months. And Bryce Miller was hurt for about 4 or 5 months until he got healthy at the end of the year. And it's amazing how Danny and the coaching staff, Pete Woodworth and Trent Blank and all those guys, Manny Acta, navigated through that time to put the Mariners in a position to do what they did at the end of the year, winning 10 in a row, winning 17 out of 18, and winning 17-7 in the month of September. That's when you're coming off the dog days of August and you're tired, you're dog tired, and they go 17-7. And to be able to get their team prepared each and every day like they did with that out in front of them, and that was getting to the postseason, which they hadn't done in 3 years, and they hadn't won a division title in 24 years. It's remarkable what Danny Wilson did, and I thought he should be the American League Manager of the Year, and I hope he gets a lot of votes.
All right,
outstanding.
Real quick, Rick, I actually was brought to tears seeing you throw out the first pitch at the game on Friday. That meant a lot to me and so many fans to see you. Rick, you're back next season, right?
Oh yeah. No, I'm coming back.
40 years with the team, my friend.
Yeah, it's been a great run, and the best thing that ever happened to me was Dave Niehaus. I got here in 1983 as a young broadcaster, and David liked my tape, and it was the greatest thing in the world that happened to me because I got a chance to raise my family here and my grandkids because of David. And then after 9 years, as you know, I went to Detroit, and then after 3 years, the team was sold. They got Ernie Harwell back. Long story. We got hours to talk about that sometime. But David got me back again in 1995, and thank God I didn't miss that 95 season that saved baseball's here. So I've had an incredible run. I love this organization. The fans, I love the fans here. The fans have been so great to me. You guys have been wonderful. And, you're looking at a 71-year-old guy or talking to a 71-year-old guy who's living his dream. And I hope everybody has a chance to say that someday about, what they do for a living. I love this game, and I'll be back.
That's awesome. We're going to miss your voice until the new season starts. Rick, thank you so much for your time. What a season it was.
It was great. Call me anytime.
Okay, we're going to do that. Thank you, Rick. Let's check traffic now with Sully.
No surprises. Hour drives are what we have for a lot of our destinations. If you're coming down from the north end, you got a little over an hour from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. Most of the brake lights, if not all of them, start just south of Linwood. Northbound I-5 is struggling from the middle of Boeing Field, but nothing out of line. Hour and 5-minute trip for you with 35 to 40 of those minutes from South Center. 509 and 99 a little heavy today. 509 really from 128th out of Burien. Renton to Bellevue is getting close to 40 minutes. Behind that, about an hour from Puyallup to Renton. One new crash to tell you about, this one west westbound 512 right at I-5 in Lakewood. Not sure which lane, but it is causing some slowing getting over toward I-5. This report brought to you by Superior Linen Service, 98 years, servicing quality uniforms, floor mats, and more. Call Superior Linen Service. They answer the phone, or visit suplinen.com.
Comcast Business can help turn your small business into a connected, secure, modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How healthcare offices become the data-protecting caregivers that we all depend on. And how wealth management firms become cyber-securing guardians of your information. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, and Wi-Fi backup, your business can stay connected and get threat-ready with Comcast Business. Powering possibilities.
Now through November 16th, new Comcast Business customers can get started with 150 megabit internet plus security for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how to get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig package. Call today. Restrictions apply. Requires enrollment in paperless billing and auto pay with bank account. Early termination fee applies. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
This is Chris Davis with the Davis Law Group. Every year we see a spike in serious accidents involving motor vehicles, bicycles, and pedestrians occurring in the few days after daylight saving time. If you are injured in an accident, protect your legal rights with an experienced team of lawyers who know how to get results. Call Davis Law Group at 206-888-8888 to request a free legal consultation or get my free book on car accident law at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
With football season comes cooler weather, so if you need new windows and doors, don't drop the ball. Steve Rabel here. Call on locally owned Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington to tackle your project. Their wide selection of windows and doors always beats the competition, and they'll give you top-notch customer service with no trick plays. Schedule a free consultation with Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Go to PellaPNW.com. That's PellaPNW.com.
Hey, Brock Ewart here. It's such a joy for me to be joined by Shannon O'Kelly, President and CEO of IRG Physical and Hand Therapy. Shannon, I've heard so much about traveling physical therapists. What's that mean to you and IRG?
That's a great question, Brock. Traveling physical therapy right now, I think, is a fad, and a lot of young therapists are doing it, but they're missing opportunities that we provide here at IRG. And those things we provide at IRG are really important, and that's being part of a team and treating patients, building relationships, engaging with our community. That is so important. The other thing is they're not getting paid time off. A crew are paid time off, and they do not get continuing education, professional growth, and that is so important as a young therapist to have access to professional growth. The other thing is we have an enhanced compensation program here at IRG that our physical therapists, our occupational therapists can increase their earnings by engagement, outcomes, and intervention. That's what we're all about. We're about building a great culture for young therapists and all clinicians to work here.
Openings across the whole company. Head over to irgpt.com/careers, irgpt.com/careers.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of its National Red Tag Sales Event, now extended through October 26th. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales Event, extended to October 26th. Discover the D.R. Horton difference at drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
Homes are sitting, but the bottleneck is about to break. Set yourself up for success by working with a team that doesn't just set up your listings and let it sit. The Novak team creates a marketing strategy that's hands down proven successful. Mike sold over 1,500 homes and guarantees to sell your home in 21 days. If Mike doesn't get your home under contract within 21 days, he sells it for free. That is no commission for Mike. Go to meetthenovaks.com. That's meetthenovaks, Novaks.com.
For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has been the one locals trust for fast, friendly service with guaranteed repairs. With 16 family-owned locations and a Carfax preferred badge, Bucky's makes it easy with same-day service and available financing. Visit Bucky's.com.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from Eastlake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It's 7:31 as we continue to follow developing news. A stunning turn in the NBA overnight.
Portland Trailblazers head coach Chauncey Billups has been arrested and charged in connection with 2 alleged illegal gambling operations. The FBI is calling this one of the most widespread in history.
KIRO Newsradio's Luke Ducey is following this and joins us live with the latest.
Yeah, the FBI just wrapped up a press conference in New York. Actually, it's still going on. I'm looking at the monitors now. I thought they were going to wrap that up. FBI Director Kash Patel said just moments ago, however, they have arrested dozens of former and current NBA coaches and players in 11 different states.
Individuals such as Chauncey Billups, Damon Jones, and Terry Rozier were taken into custody today. Former, current NBA players and coaches. What you don't know is that this is an illegal gambling operation and sports rigging operation that spanned the course of years. The FBI led a coordinated takedown across 11 states to arrest over 30 individuals today responsible for this case, which is very much ongoing. We also entered and executed a system of justice against La Casa Nostra to include the Bonanno, Gambino, Genovese, and Lucchese crime families.
The FBI arrested Billups last night in Oregon. They accuse him and 31 other people, including sports coaches, no other names listed yet, for allegedly taking part in an illegal high-stakes poker game and games that were operated by the mafia and, according to the FBI, were rigged. In a separate investigation by the FBI, Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier and at least 6 other people have been arrested on suspicion of using inside information to place illegal bets. The FBI says this was a sports betting ring involving current and former players, including some who allegedly faked injuries to win bets for people. Curiously, NBA Commissioner Adam Silver appeared on the Pat McAfee show Tuesday talking about gambling and the NBA, and he made a point to say during that interview, when it comes to gambling apps, there are tools in place they use to pinpoint any bets that are made.
The worst case scenario is a player who's trying to impact their own performance for a bet, or it may be people around a player. Somebody who's around the player knows that the player isn't feeling well or isn't going to play, even though that hasn't been announced yet.
I mean, who knows if he knew about this investigation, but it sure sounds like he may have. Now, the Chauncey Billups news comes, of course, as the Paul Allen estate recently announced a deal to sell the Trailblazers for more than $4 billion. That deal still needs NBA approval, but would keep the team in Portland. Charlie and Manda, a historic investigation is what the FBI is calling this. More to come, of course, but Billups was just inducted into the NBA Hall of Fame last year. He's expected to make a court appearance a little later today.
At this point, just NBA involved, Luke?
Just NBA so far, but the list continues, and apparently arrests are still ongoing, and we expect more, so we'll see where this investigation goes.
Luke, thank you for that. Let's check traffic now. Chris Sullivan is watching the roads this Thursday morning.
And we've started to add a few more customers to the board as we work our way, and that's added a couple extra minutes to our drive. I'm going to start with the Federal Way to Seattle drive, which has added 10 minutes. It's now hour and 10 all the way. The heaviest of that, certainly at the north end, it's 40 minutes to get you from South Center into downtown. I'm looking for a new crash right near I-90. Haven't found it yet, but it might be there causing a little extra braking. Northbound 167 is also added added a few more minutes. Now it's up to 30 minutes out of Auburn and an hour and 10 all the way. Heaviest spot really now is from before 180th into downtown Renton, or I guess into the 405 corridor. And then Renton to Bellevue is running right around 40 minutes. Across the lake, we're still doing okay, though westbound 90 is starting to heat up just a little bit. And coming down from the north end, about an hour and 10-minute trip from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. Also seeing some brake lights through the Marysville area there right by the main exit. This report brought to you by ProSculpt, the one-day permanent fat loss and skin tightening solution for men and women. Offered by New Skin Med Spa in Bellevue. Book your free consultation, prosculpt.com.
And our forecast should be dry for today. We'll just stay mostly cloudy, 62. And then here comes the rain for several days. It'll be heavy at times, up to an inch of possibility tomorrow. 58 our high tomorrow, 54 Saturday, and only 52 on Sunday. And we'll see snow in the mountains by Sunday as well. Right now it's 53 in Seattle.
Reliable, refreshing, and ready every morning. Seattle's Morning News.
7:36 now. City of Seattle reaches an agreement with the SPD Police Officers Guild on a new contract.
We get the details from KIRO Newsradio's James Lynch.
Mayor Bruce Harrell says the contract ratified last weekend improves accountability with civilian investigators, streamlines the disciplinary process, and includes hiring and retention bonuses and incentives. Here's Seattle Mayor Bruce Harrell.
This new contract will build on our progress to turn around what was a staffing crisis.
The contract also elevates the CARE team, behavioral crisis responders, making it a city public safety department along with police and fire. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Now, according to Public Cola, the new contract boosts starting officer pay from $83,000 in 2021 to $118,000 today. Sergeants will earn up to $177,000 after 18 months, with additional incentives for degrees and transfers.
Hundreds of thousands of Washingtonians are at risk of losing food assistance if the government shutdown continues past October 31st. KIRO 7 TV's Samantha Lomibau visited the West Seattle Food Bank.
The food bank's executive director, Fran Yates, tells me
shelf stable.
They're already struggling to keep shelves stocked.
We're getting food, but still not enough.
SNAP benefits help ease that pressure.
Oh, a great deal. Like at least three weeks worth of food, or two and a half. Yeah, so not having that is going to be it, but hopefully Jesus will always find a way.
Without SNAP, Yates says they're preparing for a lot more demand.
Kitsap County deputies arrested 4 people yesterday morning after a SWAT standoff at a drug house in East Bremerton. We get more on this from KIRO 7 TV's Dee Dee Sun.
According to deputies, the SWAT team helped serve a drug-related search warrant at a home. The sheriff says it has been a problem house that has brought a lot of unwanted attention to this typically quiet neighborhood. Deputies contacted 15 people inside the house. They arrested 4, 2 of whom were renters, and found evidence of drug activity.
The health department also responded because of septic and plumbing issues at that house.
2 hikers are safe after becoming stuck in the snow near Peggy's Pond Trail in the Alpine Lakes Wilderness. They texted 911 Sunday saying they were lost, wet, and cold, and all they had was a blue plastic tarp. The Kittitas County Sheriff's Office says rescuers hiked 5 miles through tough conditions. King County Explorer Search and Rescue says hikers were found unhurt.
If you plan to purchase an inflatable costume for Halloween, you'd better get to the shop soon.
After an inflatable frog costume grabbed attention at a Portland ice protest, Seattle's Champion Party Supply says requests came in.
Just tons of calls about inflatable costumes, web orders for inflatable costumes.
Owner Victoria Champion says sales of inflatable unicorn, dinosaur, and other whimsical costumes doubled ahead of the recent No Kings protest. Demonstrators telling her they wanted to make a point.
This is not like a situation that deserves the National Guard, like we're dressed as like unicorns and babies and stuff.
Costumes have been worn at protests for decades, but a run on inflatables? She says that might be a new one for the nearly 90-year-old store. Heather Bosch, KIRO News Radio.
I was watching all the coverage from around the world of the No Kings protests. I spotted inflatable frogs in Berlin and Barcelona and all places around the world.
All sorts of blow-up costumes. Okay. Sully, what's coming up in traffic?
Well, we got a major car fire burning right above the station here on northbound I-5 right before 520. I'll tell you about it coming up next.
Celebrating 50 years of Seahawks football.
Touchdown Seahawks! Steve Rabel made the catch.
Number 96, Cortez Kennedy. He was as wide as he was tall, and he was in the backfield, terrorizing quarterbacks and throwing them to the ground, and wrapping up running backs and throwing them to the ground before they knew what hit them.
Since the beginning, KIRO is where Seattle and the Pacific Northwest have heard the Seahawks play. Here's to the next 50 years.
It's the Medicare Advantage annual enrollment period, and Humana knows not everyone has the same needs when picking a Medicare Advantage plan.
Now that I'm retired, I want to enjoy the life I've worked hard to build. So I want a plan that covers me when I'm traveling the country.
Humana has a plan for that.
As a veteran, I want a plan that fills in the gaps my VA coverage doesn't provide, like dental care.
Humana has a plan for that.
I feel good about my health. I just want care and coverage with predictable costs. No surprises.
Humana has a plan for that. With a Humana Medicare Advantage plan, you get coverage and benefits that focus on what matters most to you. Learn more at gethumana.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a Medicare Advantage HMO and PPO organization with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal.
You've been wiring pounds to a second wife in London.
It's not what it looks like.
And here she is now.
Sure it isn't.
Hello, darling.
Elizabeth?
Did you know our husband used a bank instead of Wise to send you money?
What an imbecile.
Well,
See, even your secret wife knows that banks are slow and hide fees in overseas transfers.
those cheaters.
If you want to send money overseas, use Wise. They're faster and they don't hide fees.
You can save up to 70% when you send money abroad. Be smart. Get Wise. Learn more by visiting wise.com. T's and C's apply.
You can count on the Seattle Times for trusted local news and information. The Seattle Times is one of the few independent, locally owned news organizations in the country right here in the Pacific Northwest. Take a closer look with the Seattle Times. Dig into investigative journalism that holds those in power accountable. Discover a new perspective. Gain a deeper understanding. Learn something new about where we live. Subscribe today and don't miss a beat at seattletimes.com/subscribe.
At Les Schwab, we've been changing the tire game for more than 70 years. Our Go the Extra Mile service means more hustle, less hassle. We design our own exclusive tires to give you more tires made for the road you drive, less compromise. All backed by America's best tire warranty included with every tire we sell. We're talking more unbeatable tire warranty, less charging you extra, like the other guys. It's why you get more from less. Book an appointment at leschwab.com.
It's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and we're honored to share that the Harnish Auto family has partnered with Mobile Memo Northwest to donate on your behalf. For every test drive at any of our 6 dealerships, including Subaru, Volkswagen, and Chevy Buick GMC of Puyallup, or Kia and Chevy of Everett. No purchase necessary, just hop in and take a spin. Together, we can make a huge difference in the fight against breast cancer. Harnish Auto Family, where people matter.
7:43 now. Let's check in with Chris Sullivan.
And we've got a pretty nasty car fire right above the station here and on northbound I-5. If you're looking at our YouTube live channel, you can kind of see what they're dealing with. It's northbound I-5 just before 520. Looks like 2 right lanes are blocked for the emergency response as they try to put this thing out. And so we're backing up into downtown Seattle. So coming out of downtown, going north, you're going to lose a couple of minutes, probably about 10 if you're joining right there, say, at University and trying to get up around 520. After that, going northbound is relatively normal. Coming down the other direction, a normal drive as well. We've got about an hour and 5-minute trip from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue. Northbound I-5 continues to struggle from the beginning of Boeing Field as you work your way into downtown. Got about a 42-minute trip now from South Center to downtown, and about an hour and 10 all the way, maybe an hour and 15 now to get all the way from Federal Way as we're starting to see a little bit more action past the Kent-Des Moines Road. Northbound 167 struggling here and there. Got about a 30-minute trip out of Auburn, and it's primarily the heaviest there at the north end part of that drive, trying to connect to 405. 405 itself, 40 minutes from Renton on up into Bellevue. The Lake Bridges in the westbound direction are not too bad at this point. Coming up from Olympia, not too bad. Westbound 512, there still is a crash right before I-5 that's causing some trouble, and we're still working with a crash on the eastern slope of Tiger Mountain in the eastbound direction of Highway 18. This report brought to you by KIRO Kia of Everett. Kia just dropped the biggest EV deals. Save thousands on the EV6, EV9. More at Kia of Everett. Simple, easy, fun.
Enjoy one more dry, calm day, and then once we turn on the rain, it's not going to stop for a while. It'll arrive on the coast late today, 62 our high, and then heavy rain and windy for tomorrow and Saturday with highs in the mid-50s. Rain and mountain snow on Sunday, a high of only 52 Sunday. Right now it's 54 in Seattle.
7:45 Matt now, and the man behind an infamous family on television working on a new project. Here's KIRO Newsradio's Katrina Gishard.
All right, who can guess this show?
Are you in the mafia?
Am I in the what?
Whatever you want to call it. Organized crime.
That's total crap. Who told you that?
Sesame Street.
It's just in the sanitation.
I'm going with Sopranos.
I'm going with the NBA based on today's breaking news.
I totally get that, Sally. Well, The Sopranos is not coming back, but the creator, David Chase, is working on a new thriller series with HBO. It centers around real-life chemist and spy master Sidney Gottlieb, who ran the CIA's psychedelic program during the Cold War. It's called Project MK Ultra. No news yet on casting or when it comes out.
Okay, love The Sopranos. I'll be checking that out. Thank you, Katrina. 7:46 now on Seattle's Morning News.
And coming up, a big change underway at the White House with a nearly $300 million price tag. We're going to hear the latest from the Hill.com reporter Tara Suter coming up next.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Are you in pain? Have you considered surgery or even joint replacement? Hi, everybody. It's John Curley. Before you make that decision, I recommend you see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. I did, and it's been a game changer. My doctor took a look at my x-rays and said, well, looks like you need a whole new hip. And then he said, wait, how old are you? And I told him, and then he said, well, wait, you're too young for a hip. You're just going to have to, live with the pain. We'll see you in 3 years. It was horrible. Dr. Wagner is a board-certified Seattle physician with over 30 years of experience performing more than 20,000 stem cell procedures, using a person's own stem cells to regenerate cartilage in their own joints. People with severe osteoarthritis, even bone on bone, are back doing what they enjoy doing without pain and without surgery. So whether it's a hip like I had, or a shoulder, elbow, ankle, wrist, or knee, before choosing surgery, see Dr. Mark Wagner first. Go to drmarkwagnermd.com.
Your time is money. So why are you wasting it stuck in I-5 gridlock, TSA slowdowns, and SeaTac crowds? Isn't it time to travel smarter? Seaport Airlines offers high-frequency commuter shuttle service from Seattle's Boeing Field to Portland. Park for free next to our terminals. Check in 20 minutes before your departure. Get there faster without the hassles. Seaport Airlines. It's about time. Book today at flyseaportair.com.
Cancer impacts so many families, including mine. Former Washington Husky Mario Bailey here. My mother was treated for cancer at UW Medicine. As devastating as cancer is, there is hope, because the Cancer Vaccine Institute is developing vaccines to treat and prevent the deadliest cancers. Patients who received vaccines over 20 years ago are still alive today. Please join me and make a donation to the Cancer Vaccine Institute at local Safeway stores. Learn more at uwcvi.org.
Seattle's morning news. Always live, always connected. Stream, watch, subscribe, and share at mynorthwest.com.
7:49 now, and some big demolition is underway at the east wing of the White House as construction crews begin President Trump's vision of a ballroom at the nation's capital.
Let's bring in the Hill.com reporter Tara Suter. Tara, good morning. We understand the price tag has risen this morning.
Yeah, well, it's already incredibly expensive. $200 million was the original basis of what I've been seeing in reporting so far, but haven't seen anything about that yet.
Tell us about this, because initially it was only internal changes would be made. That was in July. Then last week it was, well, they're going to tear down the facade. It sure does look like they're doing a lot more than tearing down the facade now, Tara.
Yeah, it appears that they are going to tear down the entire east wing, which is a notable change since that's a pretty significant part of the building.
And what will they be putting in its place? This is some sort of ballroom? What's the purpose for that?
Yeah, so a couple of months ago, President Trump announced that he would be putting a ballroom on the White House grounds, and he is raising funds from donors to specifically do that, so it's not taxpayer dollars. But what we're looking at here is he's placing like a giant ballroom basically on where it appears right now on where the East Wing was or would be.
As that price tag continues to rise, who's paying for this?
Donors. It's not taxpayers. He's getting funding from specific donors, a basis. That's what we're looking at for this.
And then lastly, Tara, before we have to go, what is the East Wing used for? I've seen the West Wing, of course, on TV, but what do they do in the East Wing?
Yeah, the East Wing, I believe the First Lady's office is in there. So that's one notable feature. I forget some other features, but the First Lady's office is definitely a part of that. So I know there's been some conversation around that and Melania Trump and what they're going to do with that office.
We shall see. Tara, thanks for the update this morning. TheHill.com reporter Tara Suter.
Okay, from the nation's capital to the leadership of Tacoma. Do you think, and by the way, I do not think this, but do you think your pet has what it takes to lead the city of Tacoma? Well, KIRO 7 TV's Lindsay Sheldon explains.
The Humane Society for Tacoma and Pierce County is holding a special election. And bottom line here, right, it's going to get your pet a lot of exposure. Mm-hmm. The winner will be honored with a proclamation at a Tacoma City Council meeting, meet the real mayor and council, and take a tour of the mayor's office. It costs $25 to enter the race. Just submit a picture of your pet and a caption for why they should be mayor.
The money goes to the Pierce County Spay and Neuter program. There is no way. My dogs have no leadership ability. They loaf.
You've got a Great Dane. That would be a good leader.
Yeah, well, she barks a lot.
Yeah.
Although, okay.
Maybe the mayor should be barking a little.
Part of the crime fighting. Now I'm thinking, Scooby-Doo, investigative.
My dog barks at all intruders and all people that even tap on our door, our front door. So she would crack down on crime.
Okay. Well, now that I'm thinking about it,
See?
Mayor Juneau.
Go ponder some more.
Ponder. Manda.
Sorry, it's 7:53. Let's move. I didn't even mean to do that. It's 7:53. Let's move on to traffic now. We do that every 10 minutes. Here's Sully.
Okay, and we've got kind of a traffic alert working northbound I-5 coming out of downtown Seattle, working towards 520. This major car fire that we've been dealing with, the fire is out now, but we do have 3 right lanes, so 3 lanes of the freeway. 3 out of 4 are blocked right now, and that's causing significant amount of slowing getting out of downtown. And what that has done now is the getting out of downtown northbound has merged with the getting into downtown from northbound I-5. So you're bumper to bumper from about the beginning of Boeing Field all the way into downtown, and we've added a couple of more minutes on that drive from Federal Way to Seattle, up to about an hour and 20 now, with 50 of those minutes from South Center. So that's going to be a really big deal as we continue to work through the morning. But now that the fire's out, hopefully they can move some of that debris and get a couple of lanes reopened. Northbound 405 has its normal self, bumper to bumper through those S-curves all the way through 44th, then a little bit more over the top of I-90. You've got about a 40-minute trip. Behind that on the Valley Freeway, back down to about an hour. We've picked up the pace a little bit out of Auburn, especially up at the north end part of that drive. It's still about 25 minutes out of Auburn. Looking at westbound 512, getting better from Highway 7 over to I-5. We had an earlier crash there right by the I-5 corridor that really kind of put us behind. Across Tiger Mountain, we've been working with a crash on eastbound 90 18, down towards the Raging River. That's why we're heavy coming up the west slope and then over the summit. Coming down from the north end, we've got about an hour and 10-minute trip from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. Nothing out of line for you guys. This report brought to you by Superior Linen Service. You never get a second chance to make a first impression. Superior Linen Service, help your company look good with logoed apparel and more. SUPLinen.com.
And listener JD says light rain falling in Fife, but the real stuff is supposed to hit us later tonight into the overnight hours. Heavy rain tomorrow with wind and also rainy through the weekend. So batten down the hatches. Do you have any hatches to batten?
No, I don't.
Okay, well, if you did, you should. Right now in Seattle, it's cloudy and 51.
Stay with us. Scandal underway in the community leadership of Auburn. A KIRO Newsradio exclusive report coming up.
Celebrating 50 years of Seahawks football.
Touchdown Seahawks! Steve Rabel made the catch.
Number 96, Cortez Kennedy. He was as wide as he was tall, and he was in the backfield, terrorizing quarterbacks and throwing them to the ground, and wrapping up running backs and throwing them to the ground before they knew what hit them.
Since the beginning, KIRO is where Seattle and the Pacific Northwest have heard the Seahawks play. Here's to the next 50 years.
KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
With football season comes cooler weather, so if you need new windows and doors, don't drop the ball. Steve Rabel here. Call on locally owned Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington to tackle your project. Their wide selection of windows and doors always beats the competition, and they'll give you top-notch customer service with no trick plays. Schedule a free consultation with Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Go to PellaPNW.com. That's PellaPNW.com.
This might be the most surprising statistic I've shared in decades of doing local news. More than 75% of commuters will be involved in a car accident at some point. JP Pendergast of Pendergast Law with more.
What makes it more surprising? The average person will be involved in 3 to 4 collisions in their lifetime.
With accidents unbelievably prevalent, what are some safety tips if it happens to you?
Safety first. Secondary collisions are not uncommon while awaiting help. Turn on those hazards and remain in a safe place. If a bystander witnessed the accident, capture their information and encourage them to remain at the scene. Seek medical attention immediately if needed, as delaying can be a costly mistake. Lastly, remember that statements made to police and insurance adjusters can affect your case.
Collisions are more common than we'd like to think. If you find yourself in one, follow these helpful tips and then call my friends at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one's injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
PendergastLaw.com.
Hey, it's John Curley with Dr. Kopstein from K2 Vision RLE. Doc, I heard that 50% of Americans have their lenses replaced by the time they're 75.
That's exactly right, John. As we near 50, our eye's natural lens starts to become dysfunctional. If you've now added readers to your need for glasses and contacts, it's a sign the quality and function of your natural lens is fading, and it's a steady decline towards cataracts.
Don't go another 20 plus years with poor vision, hassling with contacts and readers. Do what I did. Choose a quick, painless refractive lens exchange from K2 Vision RLE and start enjoying great vision now.
Our new lens technology is truly amazing. After replacing over 100,000 lenses, we have the experience to guide each patient to their best solution, even if that's recommending you wait a little while before RLE.
K2 Vision RLE can restore distance and near vision permanently, plus never develop a cataract. Read the reviews and schedule a free Zoom consultation now at K2VisionRLE.com.
We are Subaru of Puyallup.
We're stress-free.
Stress-free. Estamos libre de estrés.
We're almost 100 employees strong. We make sure the sales process is smooth.
We have video car walkthroughs.
We have stress-free pricing. We value our customers and we value their experience.
We're like a family here. We love our community.
And support local charities. We are
Subaru
of Puyallup. Your
stress-free
dealership.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of its National Red Tag Sales Event, now extended through October 26th. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales Event, extended to October 26th. Discover the D.R. Horton difference at drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
Hey, it's Brock Hewitt here, and you got to take the First Mark Insurance Challenge. It could save you a lot of money and get your family better coverage. First Mark has saved my family thousands of dollars every year. Take the First Mark Challenge. It's totally free. Just simply go to firstmarkinsurance.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Steve Kathan. An NBA head coach and current player are among more than 30 people charged in connection with schemes involving illegal sports betting and rigged poker games backed by the mafia.
Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier and former player and coach Damon Jones were among those arrested for rigged sports betting based on inside information. Joseph Nocella is the U.S. Attorney for New York's Eastern District.
The non-public information included when specific players would be sitting out future games or when they would pull themselves out early for purported injuries or illnesses.
The other probe involves rigged poker games Nocella says were run by organized crime in part and used former athletes like Portland Trailblazers coach Chauncey Billups to attract starstruck but unsuspecting players. Billups will appear in federal court in Portland, Rozier here in Orlando this afternoon. Peter King, CBS News, Orlando.
The European Union has imposed more economic sanctions on Russia. They come after yesterday's move by President Trump to sanction the country's top two oil companies. CBS's Natalie Brand at the White House.
The Treasury Secretary, in detailing the reason why, says it's resulting from Russia's lack of a serious commitment to the peace process and aimed at preventing the Kremlin from raising revenue to fund its war machine. So it is a new step. The president asked if it will bring Putin to the table, and he said he doesn't know, but thinks that they will have an impact.
The Senate's planning to vote today on a Republican measure that would pay some federal employees, military members, and contractors who've continued to work during the government shutdown. On the Health Watch, CBS's Michael Wallace tells us it appears COVID vaccines could help some cancer patients.
New research in the journal Nature looked at patients with advanced lung or skin cancer who were taking certain immunotherapy drugs.
Those patients who happened to receive a COVID mRNA vaccine around the time they started that immune therapy lived significantly longer than patients who did not receive a vaccine.
Lead researcher Dr. Adam Grippin at MD Anderson Cancer Center in Houston.
COVID mRNA vaccines act like a siren to activate the immune system throughout the body,
reprogramming the immune system to kill cancer cells. His team is planning a clinical trial.
Astronomers say they discovered a new super-Earth orbiting a star some 20 light-years away. Surat Mahadevan at Penn State says they could potentially host extraterrestrial life.
This planet is very interesting because it lies in the habitable zone around its star, the region around the star where liquid water could exist.
The new report says home sales accelerated in September. Wall Street, the Dow is up 21 points. This is CBS News.
The annual Progressive Keys to Progress program provides vehicles to deserving veterans, helping our heroes drive their lives forward. Learn more at keystoprogress.com.
It's 8:03 on a Thursday morning. Let's check in with Chris Sullivan for traffic.
We got a big problem getting into and through downtown Seattle at this point. A car fire that is now out on northbound I-5 just before 520 has created a backup that goes all the way to the beginning of Boeing Field. So the getting out of downtown has merged with the getting into downtown traffic, and we're up to an hour and a half now from Federal Way to Seattle, an hour alone from South Center. So we're about 25 to 30 minutes behind schedule trying to get through the heart of downtown. At this point, 3 out of 4 lanes of northbound I-5 are still blocked, but it looks like they might be trying to get open one more past the scene of this fire. Looking at Renton to Bellevue now, about 40 minutes. Behind that, the Valley Freeway, still about an hour. Olympia to Tacoma, no issues for you guys. Coming down from the north end, a really steady drive on 405 down through Bothell. We've also had braking through Totem Lake. We had a crash in Kirkland that really kind of set us behind. About an hour and 15 Everett to Bellevue, an hour from Everett to Seattle. The lake bridges in the westbound direction are okay. KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Good morning. It's 8:04 on the Thursday, October 23rd edition of Seattle's Morning News. I'm Charlie Harger with Manda Factor.
Seattle police are busy on two major investigations this morning, one in Pioneer Square where officers arrested a 39-year-old man after a stabbing.
And another in North Seattle where detectives are looking into a deadly crash. And KIRO Newsradio's Luke Ducey is here with the latest. Luke?
Yeah, Charlie, let's start there in North Seattle where a 56-year-old man is dead after a hit and run. This happened last night at 15th Avenue, which is a large street if you know it. It's an arterial, and 73rd, so right there in that corner. Police say they found the victim in the roadway. He was trying to cross the street, they say, in an area not designated for pedestrian crossing. Here's SPD's Eric Munoz.
I don't know exactly the position that the pedestrian was in, but I do know they were crossing the street diagonally southbound when they were struck by that vehicle.
Police say the suspect's car could be a silver sedan, obviously left the scene, most likely has front-end damage. Police are also trying to find that driver. And now to Pioneer Square. This was in the middle of the afternoon yesterday. This is when this happened on 3rd Avenue. The victim waved down police after they say he'd been stabbed. Police say he told them that the suspect approached him asking for drugs, and when he said he didn't have any, that's when he was stabbed by the suspect. Officers later identified the suspect and then arrested him right there in the same area. He could face felony assault charges.
Luke, thank you. 8:05 now. A Pierce County Sheriff's Major has been charged in connection with a crash in Graham. This happened back in July.
Prosecutors have filed 2 vehicular assault DUI counts against Chad Dickerson. They say he hit an SUV with a family of 6 inside, including 3 young children, their parents, and grandmother. The grandmother and one of the children were hurt. Prosecutors say Dickerson had a blood alcohol level of .091 hours after the crash. That's above the legal limit of .08. He's due in court November 6th. Frank Lenzi, KIRO News Radio.
Engineers have been called in from Olympia to assess the damage to the overpass in Cle Elum. It was damaged by an overheight truck. The truck appears to have damaged all 6 concrete girders on the Bullfrog overpass on westbound I-90. The freeway and the overpass remain closed.
We do see about 17,000 drivers going westbound, and we do see about 1,500 vehicles traveling over the overpass every day. So it is going to have an impact on drivers.
Governor Bob Ferguson says we should learn no later than Monday how long the freeway will be closed. The state plans to work with the trucking company to cover the cost of repairs.
Reliable, refreshing, and ready every morning. Seattle's Morning News.
Good morning, 8:07. This is Seattle's Morning News. Charlie and Manda with you on this Thursday, the calm before the storm.
Yeah, that rain is really going to kick in tonight.
Yeah, an inch is expected tomorrow. So, yeah, certainly a soggy weekend on tap.
So tomorrow's commute in the morning might not be very pleasant. Mr. Sullivan is here to watch it for you.
It'll be fine. It'll be Friday light. Everything's great.
Yeah, sure.
You're just thinking job security.
Yeah, well, yeah,
Bring
baby.
it on.
I'm here to help, baby.
Yeah, snow in the mountains by Sunday, too.
Okay. Well, this hour of Seattle's Morning News is going to be very busy, including an exclusive report. That is coming up at 8:15. Behind-the-scenes look at how a youth pastor who pleaded guilty to the sexual assault of a child has continued to be given chances by community leaders in Auburn. This includes a personal appeal for no jail time from Auburn's mayor. I've been digging into some details over the past several weeks. You won't want to miss this.
That's coming up at 8:15. And I mentioned snow in the mountains. Sully, you have a choke point on the way.
Yeah, we're going to take a look at what is in your car and about your car and whether or not it's ready. And is the state ready to get when that winter hits?
And this is one of the top national stories, a massive sports betting probe, a bunch of arrests underway with the NBA. G. Scott will stop by to talk about it coming up at 8:45.
It's now 8:08. Seattle Mayor Bruce Harrell and Police Chief Sean Barnes announced yesterday a collective bargaining agreement has been reached with the Seattle Police Officers Guild.
And KIRO News Radio's James Lynch has details.
The agreement, Mayor Harrell says, was ratified by SPD rank-and-file officers last weekend. It takes the Community Assisted Response and Engagement Department, or CARE team, from a pilot program to a permanent part of public safety in Seattle. Seattle Mayor Bruce Harrell.
A permanent co-equal third pillar of our public safety system. Joining, of course, our police,
police and fire as essential first responders.
CARE responds to calls for service for those experiencing a behavioral health crisis. We have calls in to the Police Officers Guild, but so far have not heard back. James Lynch, KIRO Newsradio.
Publicola reports new Seattle police recruits will start at $118,000 a year, rising to $132,000 after 18 months. That is a 42% increase over 5 years, not including overtime or bonuses. Bonuses up to $50,000 for lateral hires from other departments.
The Everett City Council has approved new stay-out-of-drug areas or SODA zones near downtown. KIRO 7 TV's Ranji Sinha spoke to people who live and work in those parts of the city.
I personally haven't seen that much myself.
Do I see them use drugs? No.
I don't see people doing drugs.
This section of Everett south of Pacific Avenue is not very busy early in the morning, but for years, Everett police say drug activity has gone up here and in an area spanning roughly 25 square blocks.
People convicted or accused of drug crimes will now be banned from those areas.
We'll stay in Everett, where debate continues over that city's no-sit, no-lie ordinance. Yesterday, the city council was expected to vote on whether to extend it by another 2 years. Members heard testimony from people for and against it.
This no sit, no lie law, it's a very deep personal issue to me. I was homeless for over 5 years, and I can tell you from experience that dehumanizing people does not help.
I have had to, until this no set, no lie went in, I had a person on staff that came in at 3 a.m. to wash his steps, so that the employees could come in and not have to step in stuff.
In the end, the council delayed the vote until it gets more information on the people who have been cited under the influence.
And the Tacoma City Council has voted to expand its camping ban. Camping will now be prohibited within 2 blocks of parks, playgrounds, and libraries. It builds on a 2022 law that banned camping near shelters and waterways.
8:11 now. If the government shutdown continues beyond October 31st, nearly 930,000 Washingtonians may lose access to SNAP benefits. Here's KIRO 7 TV's Samantha Lomibao.
Tatiana Martinez is filling her bag at the West Seattle Food Bank.
I got frozen peaches, yogurt.
Out of uncertainty of where her family's next meals will come from.
I've been stacking up my food and making use of the little EBT I have because they also said they might take that away.
Martinez is one of nearly 930,000 Washingtonians who will lose SNAP benefits on October 31st if the shutdown continues. And outside of government help, the West Seattle Food Bank tells me they're buying about 35% of that food that they distribute.
Just ahead of our traffic and weather, troopers near Tacoma performed a daring rescue yesterday on I-5. A tiny kitten was hiding in a crack under a concrete barrier on the freeway. Body cam video shows 2 troopers crawling to reach her. One then drove her to the vet.
Good kitty. Hi.
Yes, she is tiny, only about a month old, weighs about a pound, and they named her Trooper.
Aw. 8:12. Let's get a check on weather. It's brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Yeah, this is going to be a cloudy day. Late tonight is when the rain starts to roll in, and tomorrow it'll be heavy rain. Up to an inch in Seattle and breezy as well. Kind of the same conditions through the weekend. So a stormy one on tap. We don't dry out until at least the middle of next week. I hope it stays dry for Halloween. Right now in Seattle, we have clouds and 52.
That is next Friday, isn't it?
It is.
Oh. All right, it's 8:13. That's time for a check on traffic. We do that every 10 minutes. And here's Chris Sullivan.
And we are rolling about 30 minutes behind schedule now on northbound I-5 from South Center into downtown and then through into the north part of Seattle. We've been working with a car fire on northbound I-5 just before 520. Until just a few minutes ago, 3 out of 4 lanes were blocked. Now it looks like just the far right lane is blocked now that the fire department has moved out of the way. But either way, we've got a solid backup. It's an hour to Seattle from just South Center. So that's way behind schedule. Plus, you add another 15 minutes getting out of Seattle. So that drive, if you're, say, getting on at University now to get up into the Linwood or to the Everett area, is probably going to take you about 45 minutes. So that's way behind schedule there. Hopefully, now that the lanes have reopened, we'll start trying to clear this out a little bit, but getting into downtown is going to be dicey for the next little bit. Northbound 405, struggling right there past Renton up to at least 44th. Give yourself about 45 minutes from Renton into Bellevue. Behind that on the Valley Freeway, about an hour and 5 from Puyallup up to Renton. Most of Pierce County appears to be thinning out, which is really good. Now to the Lake Bridges. Westbound I-90 struggling from Mercer Island over to I-5. I think that's a lot of driving back into that backup that you're into on I-5 because of that car fire. You're going to need about 30 minutes from Bellevue to Seattle on I-90, only 20 on 520. Also a lot of westbound slowing on I-90 approaching 405, as you might expect. And coming down out of the north end, an hour and 5 minutes from Everett to Seattle, hour and 15 from Everett to Bellevue. This report brought to you by the Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. Best place to watch your favorite sports, featuring wall-to-wall viewing screens, kiosks, and more. Be there, emeraldqueen.com.
8:14 now. A beauty queen's awkward onstage blunder is going viral. Here's KIRO Newsradio's Katrina Gishard.
Usually the biggest mistakes in the pageant world come from the host, but last weekend in the Miss Grand International Pageant in Bangkok, someone else had a cringe-worthy mishap. The announcer called this finalist.
Next in is Miss Grand Paraguay.
But Miss Panama walked down the stage instead, and she made it to the front of the platform to pose for pictures for 10 seconds until the announcer realized...
I beg your pardon, I announced Miss Grand Paraguay.
Then Miss Panama just returned back to her spot with the rest of the beauty contestants.
Aw.
Thanks, Katrina.
Yeah.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
It's now 8:16 and time for a KIRO News Radio exclusive report. We have posted this on mynorthwest.com. I encourage you to check out the full story there. But Charlie, you've been investigating the story out of Auburn. It involves the mayor, a convicted sex offender, and what appears to be a troubling pattern of support from civic leaders. What sparked the investigation?
So it starts with a tip I got last month, and it seemed just impossible to believe that Auburn Mayor Nancy Backus had personally intervened on behalf of a youth pastor who had just pleaded guilty to sexually assaulting a 15-year-old girl from his church. Felony child rape in the 3rd degree is what he pleaded guilty to. But what we discovered was not just a single letter, but a pattern spanning years. Pastor Josh Headley received awards from Auburn's Chamber of Commerce while awaiting trial for child rape. And after serving just 6 months in prison, he returned under a new identity, Jay Seeley. And he was immediately embraced again by political and business community members, working with more than a dozen politicians and political causes, even getting a contract to produce social media videos with teenage students on the Yelm School Levy campaign. He was even honored again by the chamber using his new name. And we're told the mayor was explicitly warned. Pastor LaShawn Lambert of Resurrection Church in Auburn says he personally called Mayor Backus with the police report in hand. He told her, he says, exactly what Joshua Headley had done. That was in May of 2022. Here's Pastor Lambert describing that warning he gave to the mayor and what happened next.
When I first started hearing about it, it was just whispers that something had happened, and something had happened, and something had happened. And with me, instead of deciding that someone has done something because people said it, I just need to track it down. And when I couldn't find straight answers and it's just, oh, it's not true, or it's definitely true, I turned in a Freedom of Information request and got the police report. And I read it, and it was one of the most nauseating things I've ever read in my 29 years of ministry.
I asked him why.
Because of the sickening treatment of an underage person. Now, if it had been a person of age, it still would have been terrible. But because it was a minor that was in the care of someone they should have been able to trust, it was just an unthinkable horror that went on for a period of time. Not that a one-time sexual assault is a small thing. That is not true. But repetitive actions at this level being dealt with in a very nonchalant way by some of our public leaders was just unthinkable to me.
So you get the report and you have this knowledge now. What did you do with it?
What I did was I called, talked to the mayor on the phone. She encouraged me that she told me that she would contact the chief so that she could see the report. And I believe that was in May of 2022 when I had a hard copy in my hand. And I wanted the person that was in charge of our ultimate safety, because our police department does not report only to the chief. Our police are city employees. So the chief person in charge of our safety is our mayor. And I wanted her to not be caught off guard if she did not know.
In your conversation on the phone with her, this is in May of 2022.
Yes.
You told her specifically, listen, there is a damning police report of Josh Headley, and you need to be aware.
What I told her was, I've read the police report. It is horrible. It is sickening. And this is why the ministers and other people didn't want to be a part of the Faith Roundtable, because if this individual, who I'm hoping has gotten things right with Jesus, I'm believing that he has, and because I don't want him forever known by this, but we must protect our community. But I told the mayor, this is why people don't want to work with you. It's not your politics, it's not your policies, it's that you have someone involved that intentionally took advantage of a child. And if you can tolerate those things, it's a problem to them. And she assured me that was not her. She had no knowledge of it. She did not know everything, like full stop, we're going to make sure that we're not affiliated. And later on, we find out that's not the case.
Months later, Josh Headley reaches out to the mayor, and the mayor then, in turn, for his sentencing, submits a letter to his attorney asking for leniency.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think when you heard she did that?
I didn't want to believe it because I heard that it had happened. And so I started looking for a way to get a copy of the letter. And then over time, I think it was maybe last year, I finally got a copy of the letter, and I sent the mayor an email, which I think you can find because someone posted that letter because it was all freedom of information, asking her, if this is a lie, please defend yourself. And if this is true, please explain. Because I did not want to believe the person that our entire city has to trust would look for leniency for someone that done such a despicable thing.
Now, we're going to pull up the letter on our YouTube live feed, and I encourage you to check it out at mynorthwest.com. The mayor wrote to Headley's attorney asking the court for treatment instead of jail time. The email in part reads, from Mayor Backus, while I realize that Josh has pled guilty to the charges that were filed against him, I am asking the court for treatment for Josh versus jail/prison time. I truly believe that our community would be best served by the treatment option. I do not take my comments and requests lightly, as I am responsible for the safety of our city. When I confronted Mayor Backus about the letter earlier this month, she expressed regret for writing it, saying she wouldn't do the same thing knowing what she knows now. She also says she hasn't spoken to Headley in more than 3 years. And one last note here. At 4 p.m. Friday, October 3rd, that is when I sent a confidential list of questions to Mayor Backus and only Mayor Backus. The same day, I also submitted a public records request with the city. Just 29 hours later, 9:53 p.m. on Saturday, Josh Headley sent me an unsolicited email writing, I understand there may be a news story coming out. I only sent that email to Backus and made a public records request, no one else. Headley found out within hours. Backus denies telling him. This is a complicated story. There are so many layers. I hope you can check out the twists and turns. We have a story and a video on this over at mynorthwest.com.
You've been working on this for 6 weeks, and what you've just heard on the radio really just scratches the surface. I highly encourage you to check out the story at mynorthwest.com.
I would do the same, having gone through, I mean, you barely even get into the charges and what he pleaded guilty to, and that is some of the statements there, plus the whole thought around restorative justice.
Yeah.
And what that is. That's a big buzzword in our city, in our region, for dealing with offenders and how that played out. Yeah, there's a lot. This is really great reporting, Charlie.
Okay, I appreciate that, Sully. I should mention 3 different people you mentioned the buzzword of restorative justice. Really, really interesting to note. So check it out, mynorthwest.com right now.
All right, it's 8:23. We need to check the roads for you. We do that every 10 minutes. Sully, take it away.
Yeah, just a reminder that we all do really good work around here, and we do keep an eye on things, because others can't. There's still great reporting being done inside this room, and Charlie, well done. Really good stuff.
Appreciate it.
Looking at the drive right now, we have cleared all lanes on northbound I-5 past the car fire just above the station here at near 520. The problem is it's created such a huge backup. What we have is the backup getting out of downtown has now merged with the backup getting into town, and so it's an hour and 15 minutes from South Center into downtown. That's close to 40 minutes behind schedule just on that last little bit of the drive, and that's pushed our drive from Federal Way to an hour and 40. The ripple effect of this is for those of you, I'm sorry for you guys coming over from Bellevue on I-90, you're in a bumper-to-bumper 20-minute delay from Mercer Island over to I-5 because you're driving into the backup, and it's 40 minutes alone from Seattle to Bellevue on I-90, 20 on 520. Rest of the map looks about average, 45 minutes from Renton to Bellevue, back down to about 50-52 from Puyallup to Renton, so that's great. I-5 isn't bad away from Linwood. It's just really heavy from Lake City on down. About an hour total from Everett to Seattle, about an hour and 10 from Everett to Bellevue, as the brake lights through Bothell haven't quite relented. This report brought to you by Home Comfort Alliance. Tired of uneven home heating and high energy bills? The Quilt ductless heat pump from Home Comfort Alliance gives you room-by-room control. HomeComfortAlliance.com.
I can't wait till I get a little older.
The John Curley Show.
I get a little bit more hair in my ears.
Weekdays 3 to 7.
And I can be the really crotchety old guy that can say to people in restaurants,
"Why don't you get your kid off the phone?"
You could do that now. No, I'm not there yet. Getting close to being eccentric. So my mom used to say, I don't make enough money to be eccentric. I'm just middle-class crazy right now.
Watch the John Curley Show live on YouTube, weekdays 3 to 7, and download the KIRO Newsradio app.
Looking for a high school that nurtures both the mind and spirit? Archbishop Murphy High School is where academic excellence meets faith-based education. With a 100% graduation rate and a college prep program designed to challenge and inspire, our students are prepared for whatever the future holds. But it's more than just academics. Archbishop Murphy's robust athletics, arts, and co-curricular activities ensure that every student finds their passion and thrives. Archbishop Murphy High School believes in educating the whole person. That's why we offer a vibrant campus life where students grow not only academically, but also spiritually, socially, and physically. Don't just take our word for it. See it for yourself. Schedule a visit and discover how Archbishop Murphy High School can help your students succeed. Visit am-hs.org. IRG Physical and Hand Therapy proudly supports Archbishop Murphy High School, where your story begins. am-hs.org.
This is Chris Davis with the Davis Law Group. Did you know that a pedestrian does not have to be crossing the street on a marked crosswalk to have a successful legal claim against the driver? Pedestrians can even be partially at fault for a collision and still have a valuable claim. Call us today for a free consultation or get my free book on pedestrian accident law at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com. That's Davis Law Group, better service and even better results.
Homes are sitting, but the bottleneck is about to break. Set yourself up for success by working with a team that doesn't just set up your listings and let it sit. The Novak team creates a marketing strategy that's hands down proven successful. Mike sold over 1,500 homes and guarantees to sell your home in 21 days. If Mike doesn't get your home under contract within 21 days, he sells it for free. That is no commission for Mike. Go to meetthenovaks.com. That's meetthenovaks, NOVAKS.com.
Hey there, Dawn Riding with Olympic Hot Tub. You know what's better than soaking every night in a saltwater hot spring spa? Knowing you got it for an incredible price during our great rebate event. Save up to $4,500 on the best hot tub you can own. Saltwater soaking, incredible savings, sleeping better, feeling better. What are you waiting for? Our great rebate event ends October 27th. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Olympic Hot Tub. Cancer impacts so many families, including mine. Former Washington Husky Mario Bailey here. My mother was treated for cancer at UW Medicine. As devastating as cancer is, there is hope because the Cancer Vaccine Institute is developing vaccines to treat and prevent the deadliest cancers. Patients who received vaccines over 20 years ago are still alive today. Please please join me and make a donation to the Cancer Vaccine Institute at local Safeway stores. Learn more at uwcvi.org.
Every time I turn around, my friends at Pure Talk give me one more reason to feel good about switching. This month, for instance, they're supporting Canines for Warriors, a terrific organization that trains rescue dogs and then pairs them up with combat veterans struggling with PTSD. The result? They're saving lives on both ends of the leash. This is why I switched to Pure Talk. I like being in business with an American wireless company who shares my values. Yeah, I appreciate unlimited talk, text, and plenty of 5G data for just $25 a month, and I bet you will too. But I think you'll really appreciate doing business with a company who gives back to the men and women who volunteered to defend our country. Just dial pound 250, say micro. With Pure Talk's U.S. customer service team, you can switch in as little as 10 minutes. Again, dial pound 250, say micro, to switch to an American wireless company who actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
With football season comes cooler weather, so if you need new windows and doors, don't drop the ball. Steve Rabel here. Call on locally owned Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington to tackle your project. Their wide selection of windows and doors always beats the competition, and they'll give you top-notch customer service with no trick plays. Schedule a free consultation with Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Go to PellaPNW.com. That's PellaPNW.com.
Life's expensive enough, isn't it? Groceries, gas, kids' activities. Sometimes your roof needs replacing, but your budget says not now. Hi, I'm Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. We want to help with an offer to lift that weight off your shoulders. Get zero down, zero payments, and zero interest for up to 24 months. Or save up to $3,000 on a new roof today. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com.
For 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has earned local trust with honest pricing and guaranteed repairs. That's why they're Carfax preferred. No gimmicks, just great service. Bucky's.com.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It is 8:31. A big story across the country this morning. A stunning turn in the NBA overnight.
Portland Trail Blazers head coach Chauncey Billups has been arrested and charged in connection with one of two alleged illegal gambling operations the FBI is calling the most widespread cases in history.
And we get the latest live from KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey.
Yeah, early this morning, FBI Director Kash Patel called this the insider trading of the NBA.
The charges and the arrests that were taken down across this country range from wire fraud, money laundering, extortion, robbery, illegal gambling.
He says they've arrested dozens of former and current NBA coaches and players in these two separate investigations in 11 different states, and that the operation that Billups is accused of being involved in was run by the mafia.
La Casa Nostra, to include the Bonanno, Gambino, Genovese, and Lucchese crime families.
The FBI arrested Billups last night in Oregon, they say. U.S. District Attorney Joseph Nacella says Billups and 31 other people, including other sports coaches, were used as so-called face cards in a gambling operation of poker games to lure in players known as fish with the promise of playing high-stakes poker games with former NBA players.
What the victims didn't know is that everybody else at the poker game, from the dealer to the players, were in on the scam. Once the game was underway, the defendants fleeced the victims out of tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars per game.
As for the other investigation, Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier and at least 6 other people have been arrested on suspicion of using inside information to place illegal bets on games. The FBI says this was a sports betting ring involving current and former players, including some who allegedly faked injuries. The FBI says the NBA is cooperating with both investigations, but curiously, on Tuesday, NBA Commissioner Adam Silver appeared on the Pat McAfee Show and said that they're trying to address prop betting on players' statistics and the potential of it leading to rigged games.
We're trying to put in place, and learning as we go, and working with the betting companies, some additional controls to prevent some of that manipulation.
Charlie and Manda, we're obviously looking into whether any former Seattle sports players or figures are on that FBI list. Billups is a 5-time All-Star. He is in the NBA Hall of Fame, and later today, he's expected to appear in court on federal charges.
I just want to circle back to that card. scheme, I just want to make sure I have this right. So what the FBI is alleging, or are they alleging, that the coaches, people had the knowledge that the game was rigged, and then they would lure in other NBA players who were unknowing of what the scheme was?
There's no doubt. Yes, to answer your question, but there's no doubt that I'm sure a lot of these players and their attorneys will say, we had no idea the game was rigged, or whatever they're going to say. But the allegation is that the mafia ran these games, and everyone involved, including the players, and they would use the players to lure in you and me, who were willing to gamble hundreds of thousands. Wouldn't you want to play a poker game against a former NBA player?
No, I would not.
well, there are a lot of other people who do, and that's the allegation. Lure them in, get these fish in there, get them to spend their money. Everyone else knew the game was rigged, and they would take their money every time.
Wild story. Thank you, Luke. Let's head over to Sully for traffic.
And we are still working with about a 35 to 40-minute delay getting into Seattle. It's an hour and 15 minutes still just from South Center into downtown, almost double the travel time there. This is all because of a car fire that was by 520 that for a while had 3 out of 4 lanes blocked and backed us all the way up past now the beginnings of Boeing Field. So it's going to take a while for this thing to clean out. Also caught up in this westbound I-90 because you're driving right into that backup as you make your way to northbound I-5. It's 40 minutes from Seattle to Bellevue on I-90. That is a 20-minute delay. Rest of the map looks okay. We have a new crash on the ramp from 167 to northbound 405 northbound, but that's not really seeming to impact too much. And the travel time from Puyallup to Renton is about 50 minutes, so that's good. Renton to Bellevue is about 45. Out of the north end, not seeing much away from Linwood on I-5. The heaviest part of the drive there is basically from Lake City on down. Hour from Everett to Seattle, which is pretty good. Hour and 10 from Everett to Bellevue as the brake lights thin out south of Bothell. This report brought to you by Subaru of Puyallup. Traffic is stressful, that's for sure. One thing that's always stress-free, pricing on over 300 Subarus with easy financing at Subaru of Puyallup. Subaru of Puyallup, your stress-free dealership.
Well, it should be mainly dry for today. The rain arrives tonight, 62 our high, and once that rain starts, it's going to be with us right on through the weekend. Heavy rain at times, in fact, up to an inch tomorrow. Gusty winds, too. They're saying along the coast and Camano and Whidbey Islands could see gusts up to 50 miles an hour. For Saturday, rainy and windy in 54, down to only 52 for a high on Sunday. We're going to see some snow in the mountains, too. Right now in Seattle, 54 degrees.
Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Hey, oh, let's go.
Now, Choke Points with Chris Solomon.
Presented by Carter Subaru.
Manda, did you say snow in the mountains?
I certainly did. Thanks for listening.
Well, if you're ready for winter driving, here is Sully with some ideas for you before you hit the roads.
And I know everybody knows this, but just
we need
as
a reminder.
Gentle reminder, this is the time of year to go out and give your car that good once-over and make sure that it's ready for winter. With the basics, here's State Trooper Rick Johnson.
To make sure your vehicle's, maintained. Make sure your tread depth is where it's supposed to be. Windshield wipers, headlights, the usual stuff. The other thing is if you know it's going to be snowing on the pass and you're not comfortable driving in those conditions, don't.
Time to put a small bag in the car in case you get stuck, a few bottles of water, a couple of power bars, a blanket, some gloves, a warm hat, and make sure that the flashlight that I know every single one of you carry in your car has fresh batteries. Take care of that. You don't want to just rely on your iPhone battery and light to try to give you any kind of help there. So that'll do just another level of protection. Now, as you make the preparations in your car, the 1,500 Washington State Department of Transportation maintenance workers have been working on their game. The sheds are full of salt, other materials, and the more than 500 snowplows have been inspected. WashDOT's Tina Werner says they're ready.
They've been doing a lot of winter preparedness trainings, getting equipment ready, making sure our maintenance sheds, from Port Angeles to Pullman are ready to go.
The biggest issue on the passes each year always ends up usually being driver behavior, things that we can all take care of and do better. Primarily failing to follow the chain up or traction tire restrictions. Well, that's at the top of the list.
Many pass closures can be due to people driving way too fast for conditions, not following chain up requirements when that is posted, or driving distracted or impaired. One poor choice like that can shut down a pass for everyone.
If you think about it, it could just take one little car having a spin out, and then maybe a truck coming behind has to slow down. Then that truck loses traction, skids a little. Then the one behind that. Next thing you know, one car can knock out 3 or 4 lanes on the pass, and we're in big trouble. All large rigs are required to carry chains starting November 1st, and you can expect a heavy enforcement early in the season. Not only will you get a hefty fine, you'll be sent back down the pass. You're going to have a bad day. The other issue for winter driving is overconfidence. Overconfidence in your driving ability and overconfidence in your vehicle's ability. How many times have you seen that all-wheel drive vehicle speed by you in the snow only to find them in the ditch later? Trooper Johnson has a thought on that.
It's really cool how easy you can get going in slippery conditions, but the icy roadways don't care if you have a 42-wheel drive vehicle because you're not going to stop any quicker than anybody else.
It's the stopping that gets you in winter conditions. Don't forget, you can put on your studded tires November 1st, but WashDOT encourages you to think of other traction alternatives because it estimates that studded tires can cause $20 to $29 million in damage to the roads each year. And of course, you still have to put on chains if required when you have studded tires. So there are plenty of options out there to check out for an alternative to a studded tire. And of course, now's the time to practice putting on your chains. Of course, it's going to be a terribly wet weekend. I'm not sure you want to try that in the driveway, but you certainly don't want your first attempt at putting on chains to be while you're on your side in the freezing snow, in the side of the road with people whizzing by you. Have some practice, know what your chains can and cannot do and how to get them on.
You know, it's funny. I drive a Ford F-350 on the weekends, and what I found is I don't seem to have that feature in my car, that magical feature. When I see other big truck drivers go by me, they just fly by going 70 in the snow. My car must not come with the accessory because I find myself sliding in the snow when I try to stop.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
I don't know what upgrade package you need to get to have that magical stopping ability, but I don't have it.
The thing is that it's only a matter of time before their stopping ability ends and you see them in the ditch. Speed is the thing that gets you in this, and overconfidence. And again, you have to admit it to yourself. For a dude, that's kind of hard to overestimate or overconfidence in your driving ability.
Yeah.
I think I'm great. But yeah, the elements don't care. So just be prepared to get ready.
All right. All Sully's tips are at mynorthwest.com.
Stand by for traffic.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed cracks in your drywall, chimney, or exterior walls? I hope not, because if you have, they could be indications that you've got a much bigger problem with your foundation. That's where Groundworks comes in. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to stabilize your foundation. Schedule your free inspection at groundworks.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of its National Red Tag Sales event, now extended through October 26th. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales event, extended to October 26th. Discover the D.R. Horton difference at drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder and equal housing opportunity builder.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now.
1-877 7 cars for kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
8:43 now. Let's check traffic with Sully.
And just getting some updated travel times here now that we have cleared the car fire on northbound I-5 just before 5:20. It really did a number on our commute, but it looks like we've picked up about 15 minutes now on the drive. South Center to Seattle's back down to an hour. That's still about a 20-minute delay over what you might expect, but we are improving. We're trending in the right direction. Still about an hour and 20 minutes to go from Federal Way, so we still have a lot of work to do. And across I-90, starting to see a couple of gaps in the heavy braking from Mercer Island all the way over to the I-5 corridor where you're driving right into this. Give yourself about 38 minutes from Seattle to Bellevue, so still close to 20 minutes behind schedule. The Valley Freeway, back to seeing a couple of brake lights through Pacific, maybe about 5 or 6 minutes worth of a delay there. And then up at the north end is kind of heavy, but overall 52 minutes from Puyallup to Renton isn't out of line. Renton to Bellevue is about 45. 520, by the way, has taken a little bit of diversion, and so we're seeing some heavy brake lights into Montlake. It's about 25 minutes on 520 to go from Bellevue to Seattle. Coming down from the north end, it's really heavy away from Linwood on southbound 405, primarily getting into and through Canyon Park. A little bit in Totem Lake, about an hour and 10 minutes, about an hour and 5 from Everett to Seattle. It's really not terrible until you get down to about the Northgate area, and then you're going to have the grind getting into downtown. Still working with heavy brake lights on eastbound 18 after an earlier crash in the eastbound direction just over the summit. This report brought to you by the Tacoma Holiday Festival, which is presented by Puyallup Chocolates, October 23rd through the 26th, Tacoma Dome. Buy tickets, holidaygiftsshows.com.
And our forecast, we're going to stay dry for the bulk of the day. Some rain arrives first on the coast tonight, and then we're all going to see it. Some people are seeing some light sprinkles this morning, but that's nothing compared to what's ahead. For tomorrow, heavy rain. We could see up to an inch tomorrow. Gusty winds as well, and a high of 58. Saturday, rainy and windy and 54. Snow in the mountains by Sunday, with the rain continuing for the lowlands. 52 on Sunday. Right now in Seattle, it's 54.
8:45 now. Some clowns are no laughing matter. Here's KIRO Newsradio's Katrina Gashard.
Pennywise, the scary clown from the It franchise, has been seen around the world standing with his famous red balloon. It's all to promote the new HBO show, It, Welcome to Derry, which is a prequel to the horror movies. In an exclusive interview with Entertainment Tonight, stars Taylor Page and Chris Chalk had a very different reaction as to whether they're scared of clowns.
All of it scares me. Okay. Yeah, I'm a scaredy cat. I'm scared.
Clowns to me are not scary, no. I mean, I'd love to, be like, yeah, they're scary. No. It's just the person in makeup. No, it's not scary. Now, a clown with a gun, very scary, terrifying.
The series premieres on October 26th on HBO.
I'll pass, thank you.
Me too.
Thanks, Katrina. G. Scott stops by next on Seattle's Morning News.
Are your investment dollars working as hard as they should be? You've spent years building your future. Don't let outdated advice put it at risk. Hi, I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. We're a veteran-owned firm proud to bring a new standard of financial care to the Seattle area. Our nationally recognized advisors are fiduciaries, ethically bound to put your interests first. That's the highest standard of care in the industry. As a privately held company, we answer to you, our valued clients, not shareholders. For households with $500,000 or more, let us build you a customized plan. From Bellevue to Tacoma, get advice you can count on. It's time to take a fresh look at your financial plan. Call Trajan Wealth, 206-656-3300. That's 206-656-3300. Trajan Wealth. Plan smarter, dream bigger.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Well, I'm here with my good buddy, Dr. Dan Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine, and you've heard from Dr. Dan's patients over the years how a simple stem cell procedure has successfully conquered their pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well, and your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain, and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD, at 725-823-4000 or visit DanielNelsonMD.com. That's DanielNelsonMD.com.
Carter Subaru, Seattle's only Subaru dealership, has the largest selection of Subarus in our state. For a limited time, you can get the 2025 Subaru Outback for 0.9% financing for 60 months. With over 100 Outbacks to choose from, you're going to find the exact color and trim you've been looking for. Visit Carter Subaru in Shoreline and Ballard or anytime at cartersubaru.com.
On approved credit, subject to vehicle insurance and availability. A documentary service fee may be added to the sale price or capitalized cost. See dealer for details. Valid through 10/31/25.
If you use carpool or toll lanes along SR 167, some things have changed, and some things haven't. Using those lanes without a good-to-go account means you'll receive a bill in the mail. That is a change. You'll always pay the lowest toll rate with good-to-go. No change. Carpoolers now need a Flex Pass set to HOV mode to ride free. That's a change. Does a good-to-go pass still save you $2 on every toll? Definitely not a change. Learn more at goodtogo167.com. Free Flex Passes while supplies last.
Seattle's morning news. Hear it live, stream it online, watch the show, or catch the podcast anytime on mynorthwest.com.
It's never a gamble to have G. Scott from the G and Ursula Show join us.
No, it is not. I wonder what we're going to talk about today.
Well, I got to wait. First, I got to tell you this. My man DB, by the way, David Burbank, I call him DB. DB hit me up this morning. I was at the gym, and he asked me if I wanted to talk about this. Sure, I do. I do want to talk about the gambling, but I will say, I do want to talk about the city of Auburn and what is going on down there, because from the last time I heard last week, the mayor, Nancy Backus, was livid about a rapist that was trying to find somewhere to live. I'm really confused. So Charlie is going to come on our show and help me better understand, because, whoa. All right. So
NBA.
The Portland Trail Blazers head coach, Chauncey Billups, never in a million years would I have thought that his name would be connected to something like this. We're talking about Chauncey Billups, y'all. They are among more than 30 people charged in the connection with schemes involving illegal sports betting, connected and backed by the mafia. You know, the same mafia that believes in not making headlines but making money. Whoa. Chauncey Billups, NBA champion, Hall of Famer, gold medal winner, current NBA head coach, and oh my goodness, it feels like greed has been a thing. Now, here's one thing, as you all are talking to your family amongst friends about everything that's going on, and I know Chauncey Billups will be the headline and in the news and what the FBI's doing. I want you to just remember these things. While the same big sports leagues that we watch, the NBA, NFL, MLB, all of these leagues, back in the day, there used to be a time if you mentioned gambling, if you tried to spell the word gambling, you were suspended. You were Pete Rose and kicked out of the league and banned for life and rawr, rawr. The NFL, NBA, MLB, they got their hands in the pot, y'all. They are partners. DraftKings, FanDuel, BetMGM, all of these places, they're everywhere. You see it on the jerseys. You see it on the logo. And here's the thing that got to tell you. I put this on X, and I want you to remember this. When money becomes the message, integrity becomes negotiable. Look, we can sit here and we can hate the players, but you can hate the players, but you got to blame the game. The game, the system is rigged. This ain't the end. This is the beginning. Yeah. We're going to consistently see this because greed, the power of more, is happening. And this is a topic I have been on. Oh, by the way, in the state of Washington, we can't gamble from our phones, right? From the cell phones. You can't sit on your couch. You know, they're coming up with ways now that you can go through platforms like your Robinhoods and partner with these folks where your portfolios, and you can gamble through your stock, your shares of stock. Imagine sitting with your husband and saying, hey, Harry, we should go and look at our portfolio and see what we need to get ready to retire. And then you go and you sit before your financial advisor, and Harry has a gambling addiction, and Harry has gambled all of your stocks away while you were sitting right there on the couch. Oh, it's real deal Holyfield, y'all. So
you're saying you're against gambling on sports?
I'm so against gambling on sports. It is so awful. I'll leave you with this. Remember Game 7 when we all saw the Mariners lose? If you had no money on that game, was there emotion tied to it? Was there a feeling tied to it? Now imagine and multiply that by more when you have money on it. Sports is different than just sitting at the casino playing slots or, blackjack or something. This is a whole different element. And again, when money is the message, integrity becomes negotiable.
G. Scott.
I like that. Thanks, G.
9 to noon here on KIRO News Radio. We have Chris Sullivan at the traffic desk.
And getting across the lake right now is a pretty difficult proposition, especially on I-90. Still running around 35 minutes from Seattle to Bellevue. That's a 15-minute delay. That's all because you were driving into a pretty significant backup that went up northbound I-5 to 520 for a car fire. And we're still dealing with the remnants of that, even though all the lanes have reopened. We're bumper to bumper from the beginning of Boeing Field. Still an hour from South Center to Seattle. Hour and 15 all the way. So behind schedule by about 15 minutes there as well. Also about 25 to 30 minutes on 520 as people divert it. Coming out of the north end, we're getting better. 50 minutes from Everett to Seattle. It's still an hour from Everett to Bellevue, but getting better. And most of Pierce and Thurston County is cleared out nicely. Valley Freeway under 50 minutes. Rented to Bellevue is about 45. This report brought to you by the Harnish Auto family. This month partnered with Mobile Mammo Northwest. To every test drive you take, make a donation on your behalf. Harnish Auto family, where people matter.
Well, for most of us, it's just going to be a mostly cloudy day. Any showers you see, that's nothing compared to what's on the way. For tomorrow, heavy rain, windy, 58. Same deal for Saturday. And Sunday, the rain continues. It's 54 in Seattle right now.
The G and Ursula show is coming up next. We'll talk more about sports gambling and get more of G and Ursula's thoughts here on KIRO News Radio.
Welcome to this week's Puget Sound Express Whale Report. There's a new baby in the T46B1 Biggs orca family, according to naturalists from Puget Sound Express. This youngster is the third living calf of the T46B1 matriarch, known as Tread. While humans have a 9-month gestation period, orca pregnancies last 15 to 18 months. Researchers believe this is due to the complex development and high level of parental care required for their calves. In addition to Biggs orcas, the whale watchers are seeing loads of humpbacks and minke whales in the Salish Sea right now. Family-run Puget Sound Express offers daily guaranteed whale watching tours departing from Edmonds. These half-day tours are Seattle's most popular and well-reviewed whale tours. Puget Sound Express also offers tours out of Port Townsend. Don't miss out on your chance to see orcas and humpbacks in the wild. Family-run Puget Sound Express guarantees you'll see whales or your next trip is absolutely free. Book online at PugetSoundExpress.com.
Ooh, babe, remember those yodelers we met in the Alps? I wired them euros from the bank, and they sent me their yodels in a can.
You wired money for canned yodels? That is so dumb. Banks are slow, and they hide fees and overseas transfers and exchange rates.
Well, I don't like the sound of that.
If you're gonna send money to Europe, just use Wise. Wise is super fast and never hides fees.
Smart. You can save up to 70% when you send money abroad. Be smart. Get Wise. Learn more by visiting wise.com. T's and C's apply.
Hey, it's John Curley with Dr. Kopstein from K2 Vision RLE. Doc, I heard that 50% of Americans have their lenses replaced by the time they're 75.
That's exactly right, John. As we near 50, our eye's natural lens starts to become dysfunctional. If you've now added readers to your need for glasses and contacts, it's a sign the quality and function of your natural lens is fading, and it's a steady decline towards cataracts.
Don't go another 20-plus years with poor vision, hassling with contacts and readers. Do what I did. Choose a quick, painless refractive lens exchange from K2 Vision RLE and start enjoying great vision now.
Our new lens technology is truly amazing. After replacing over 100,000 lenses, we have the experience to guide each patient to their best solution, even if that's recommending you wait a little while before RLE.
K2 Vision RLE can restore distance and near vision permanently. Plus, never develop a cataract. Read the reviews and schedule a free Zoom consultation now at k2visionrle.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
Free consultations, no fee guarantees, 5-star reviews. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains the importance of going beyond these familiar offerings.
Accident victims want an attorney, Tom, that satisfies their needs. Someone who handles those needs with the highest degree of care. Pendergast Law offers the no-fee guarantees and free consultations, but these only scratch the surface.
Okay, explain more.
We make sure that every member of our team is genuinely passionate about helping others. Customer service and communication are our top priority. It's how we take care of our clients so they always feel one step ahead of the insurance companies. Our strong reputation for high standards provides comfort and confidence when it's needed most.
Pendergast Law offers the free consultations, the no-fee guarantees, and of course, they are 5-star rated. But what really makes them different is their genuine passion for helping others. I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
Hey there, Dawn Riding with Olympic Hot Tub. You know what's better than soaking every night in a saltwater hot spring spa? Knowing you got it for an incredible price during our great rebate event. Save up to $4,500 on the best hot tub you can own. Saltwater soaking, incredible savings, sleeping better, feeling better. What are you waiting for? Our great rebate event ends October 27th. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Olympic Hot Tub.
For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has been the one locals trust for fast, friendly service with guaranteed repairs. With 16 family-owned locations and a Carfax preferred badge, Bucky's makes it easy with same-day service and available financing. Visit Bucky's.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM, and HD